Well, well, well. And then there was four times now. The legendary LeBron James has been sent home via the old broom job in the postseason. Yes, the legend of Le Sweep, King James, only grows now at this point, still making history, still dazzling us, still just showing us what a all-time great he is, even now in his 23rd season of play. The Los Angeles Lakers, of course, swept out of the playoffs now by the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Thunder who remain undefeated in these playoffs, the 2026 postseason. And look, this was, all joking aside, the Los Angeles Lakers' best effort by far of this entire series. It was a number of firsts for the Lakers in this series. It was the first time that they had a lead in the second half. And it was the first time that they had a lead in the fourth quarter. We'll get to all that. There is plenty to break down in this game. The Oklahoma City Thunder, typical as they do, play down to their opponents. This was a particularly bummish performance from them, in my estimation. Yes, you expect the Lakers to come out and play with desperation and heart. At least you would hope they would. Down 0-3 at home, facing the prospects of elimination. Nothing really to play for outside of pride in this one, as no team in NBA history has ever overcome an 0-3 hole. And it certainly damn sure wasn't going to start in this series with this Lakers team against this Oklahoma City Thunder team. But credit the LA Lakers where credit is due. They came out hard tonight. They played hard all game. Several of their players showed up tonight. Yes, LeBron was there. Only 8 of 18 shooting, though, for the King. And a game worst. Yes, isn't it fitting that maybe in LeBron's last game in a Los Angeles Lakers jersey, the minus King returns in full effect tonight and leads both teams in the wrong direction in the old plus minus. Minus 17 for the minus King LeBron James in a 5-point Lakers loss. LeBron minus 17. Everybody else in the starting lineup, Rui Hachimura minus 2, DeAndre Ayton minus 2, Marcus Smart plus 5, and Austin Reeves minus 6. Reeves, who led the Lakers tonight, 27 points on 8 of 16 shooting from him, 6 assists, but he did have 8 turnovers tonight. A pretty good way for Austin Reeves to go out. I think it's been a hot and cold playoffs with him. We could talk about his future moving forward later in the show tonight. Jackson Hayes was enormous for the Lakers off the bench. Only a -1 for him off the bench. Luke Kennard led the Lakers, meanwhile, in only 24 minutes, plus 15. Maybe JJ should have found Luke a couple more minutes. But again, a tale as old as time, at least for the last 2 seasons that we've been watching the Oklahoma City Thunder do this, playing with their food, playing down to their opponents. It looked like this game was a wrap like all the others, the other 3 that preceded it in the third quarter, when the Thunder, who were up 4 at halftime, came out strong in the third quarter to start. They went up 12 early, but not so fast because the Lakers battled back. They did the Lakers a 4-point lead into the fourth quarter on the strength of a 39-31 third quarter by the LA Lakers. And then, though, it was the Thunder asserting their dominance, but not till the latter stages of the fourth quarter. Because, look, the Lakers ended the third on a 30-14 run, and the Thunder actually trailed in this game 92-87 with about 7 minutes to go in the fourth. But that is when the Oklahoma City Thunder ended the game on a 28-18 run to rip this game and rip this series, 115-110. LeBron, credit to him, did have the ball in his hands, did have a look for the go-ahead basket in the waning minute of this quarter. He took it, missed it. The Thunder made some free throws. Austin Reeves then had a shot, a good look, a good shot at 3 to tie it and send it into overtime. He missed it. Alex Caruso rebounds, and they get the ball into AJ Mitchell, who makes the free throws, and that, as she says is that, or I should say, that is what it sounds like when the fat lady is singing, because she is belting out a high noter right now at the expense of the LA Lakers. Speaking of AJ Mitchell, by the way, arguably the best player in this series. In fact, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander said it himself in the game immediately following the end of this game. He was interviewed on the court, and he said that AJ Mitchell might very well have been the best player in this series. 28 points tonight for Mitchell, 12 of 19 shooting. And look, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finally, welcome to the party, pal. In the immortal words of John McClane, welcome to the party, pal. About damn time, Mr. MVP. Game 4, and finally he shows up and has an MVP-looking game. 35 points, 11 of 22 shooting from him. But still, only a -7 on the plus-minus. The worst of any of the 5 starters tonight for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Isaiah Hartenstein led the way, +30. Jared McCain off the bench, +27. And then AJ Mitchell, again, speaking of him, +17. So look, coming into this game tonight, what if I were to tell you that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's on-offs in these playoffs per 100 possessions was -11.3, meaning that the Oklahoma City Thunder are actually 11 points worse throughout this entire postseason so far with Shai on the floor versus off, and that was just bared out more again tonight. But again, it doesn't matter because the Oklahoma City Thunder just keep on winning, despite the fact, again, no J-Dub, no problem. Now they presumptively will have a whole week off since the San Antonio Spurs and Minnesota Timberwolves game is likely to limp on for another 2 games at least. Now J-Dub, speaking of Jalen Williams, will have, roughly about 4 weeks off. I want to say about a full month off now in between these games. So it is, as they say, it keeps getting good. The rich keep getting richer because the Oklahoma City Thunder, again, they look now to have a stranglehold on this conference as the Spurs will be extended even longer in that Minnesota Timberwolves series. And as for the old Lakers, well, it's 1, 2, 3 Cancun, or 1, 2, 3 Galveston, or whatever the trendy hotspot is right now for NBA players who are going fishing. LeBron James, of course, as I said off the top, is ferrying off to the great unknown abyss of the offseason via that Broom job for now the 4th time in his illustrious career, which is more than any Hall of Famer in NBA history outside of Shaquille O'Neal and Pau Gasol, who each did it 6 times. There are a couple Kobe merchants. They were just a couple of guys who really couldn't find a way to win without the Black Mamba, but no problem for them because Kobe carried them both to a couple of rings. So thankfully for Shaq and Pau, they got to play a couple years with Kobe so they could not get swept even more than 6. Bron, meanwhile, 4 times swept for him. But there are several gentleman sweeps as well to be accounted for the chosen one, because he was also gentleman swept that number of times, 8 total times now for LeBron James. Look, he's been to the postseason of his 23-year NBA career. He's been to the postseason now 19 times. He's won the finals 4 times out of those 19, which means that he has ultimately lost his final series of the year 15 times. And of those 15 exits, 8 of them have now been by 5 games or less. So the gentleman sweep or the outright sweep variety, guys, I am planning a special little video tribute to LeBron James to commemorate this special event and moment for him, his 8th either gentleman sweep or straight out sweep of his career. You guys, please make sure that you set the clock for this one. Make sure that those notifications are turned on. I'm thinking I'm going to drop that in about 8 a.m. on my time, Eastern time. It is 1:47 a.m. On my time right now. So after I'm done, chewing the fat, spitting it over with you guys here, I'm going to just go ahead and kick off and make sure that's nice and set up for you guys at 8 a.m. This is one of the great days of the year, guys. It's like a holiday. Every time LeBron James doesn't steal another cheap garbage ring, every time he gets further away from that ghost in Chicago, it is obviously a good day. So today, as they say, was a good day. 115 to 110, Oklahoma City final, 4-0 over the Suns in the first round, 4-0 over the Lakers in the second round. They are halfway to their title defense. And guys, look, we're going to cover this every which way you want to. We're going to get to your comments. We're going to see which direction you guys want to take it. I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about LeBron. What's next for LeBron James? There really are three options as I see them for old Bron. Those are essentially retire. I doubt that's going to happen with the ego on that guy. Like he's going to actually retire without his farewell tour. Then, of course, return to LA is an option, of course. And then go elsewhere. Take his talents elsewhere in year 24 to try to add another page to his legendary book of accolades, like maybe possibly another sweep, maybe a fifth sweep sometime next season somewhere else, which would be his 9th time losing by 5 games or less in the postseason. So lots to talk about, lots of different angles to cover this game. Guys, welcome in. It's 1:50 a.m. again on my time on the East Coast. I'm sure I'm welcoming in a lot of people on the West and from various different markets around the globe right now. Thank you all so much for being here. Skap Live After Dark, where the waters are always warm. I do also quickly want to touch on, there was a second game tonight, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, Cleveland, this one is for you. Maybe a team that will be welcoming LeBron James back home for a third stint now moving forward. Next year, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Well, they stormed back in their series against the Detroit Pistons tonight. The Cavs, remember, went down 0-2. They had some clutch time issues and struggles in Detroit, but they got right. They went home. They got right. They have not lost a game at home yet this postseason. Now, unfortunately, they haven't won a game on the road yet, but that wasn't their problem tonight because they were at home. And again, the Cavs storm back. It is now a best-of-3 series, tied 2-2 on the strength behind Donovan Mitchell's nearly record-breaking game. He tied an all-time NBA record for most points scored in a single half. How does this one grab you for the Spida? 39 points in the second half. Now, he ended the game with only 43 because he had just 4 in the first half. But as the old saying goes, it doesn't matter how you start, only how you finish. And tonight, Donovan Mitchell was certainly on one in the second half of that game. And they come back all the way from that 0-2 deficit. Now it is the best of 3. Now, as I said, the Cavaliers have not lost at home. They haven't won on the road. They will have to find a way to win one of these next 2 in Detroit, either game 5 or 7 in on the road, if they are to ultimately move on and take on the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. I've been saying it all postseason long, highly limited offense surrounding Cade Cunningham. When he struggles, they got no hope. Tonight, he struggled. 19 points on just 7 of 16. And again, not enough offense around Cade Cunningham. 16 points for Tobias Harris on 6 of 17. And then, a couple guys off the bench. Karis LeVert with 24. Big game from him. And Paul Reed, 15. But look, the Cavaliers, 43 from Donovan Mitchell. 24 from James Harden and 8 assists. 17 from Mobley. Enough to get it done. So now it is just the best of 3 in that one. That series continues on along with the Spurs and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game 5, that pivotal swing game in that series tomorrow. And of course, the other 2 series are all over now. The New York Knicks sweeping the Philadelphia 76ers in emphatic fashion, just like, speaking of emphatic fashion and a sweep, well, it wasn't quite as declarative as the Knicks were yesterday with the 76ers, but the Oklahoma City Thunder also they brought their broom and dust pail to the crypt tonight, crypto.com arena. And that is all she wrote for the LA Lakers. As I said, guys, welcome in. We've got over 1,000 people in here now in the Skap Live After Dark live area. We are at the 15-minute mark. 1,130 people in here. One of the biggest turnouts I've had in the last 2 years since I started doing this. Welcome in to all of you. Thank all of you guys for being here with me tonight. I am pumped. I should be tired. I'm on not a lot of sleep. It is extraordinarily late where I live right now. And like I said, I've got more work to do tonight after I get off with you guys. But these are the times that you enjoy the lack of sleep. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling energized. And I want to just welcome in, of course, moderator Gary, who is on hand as he typically always is with us tonight. Gary, what say you on this fine night?
I'm just pissed off because JJ Redick lost not just this game, but the whole series. And I'm up in arms about it. JJ needs to be fired. He didn't even put Bronny James in tonight. He was a DNP. Had Bronny played in the fourth quarter, the Lakers would have went on like a sweeping 20-5 run to close that out. And they would have come back and won the series. It's JJ's fault for not playing Bronny. How dumb of a coach do you have to be to not put in the top prospect in the entire league? I would gladly give up Wembanyama to the Lakers for Bronny straight up, as if the Lakers would ever do that.
Well, guys, it is LeGary is still LeGary, LeJock Sniffer Gary is still obviously out in full force right now. He's still counting that clutch money, separating those clutch bills right now as we speak. You guys can't see him, but he has one of those little money separating machines, and he's just spitting it in, and it's like it's flapping it out, counting it. He's banding them up right now as he strokes the king's crown jewels here tonight. I don't know what the sniffers are going to be doing tonight. The bootlickers and jock sniffers, they will have their work cut out for them, I'm sure, but they will, as they always do, find a way to manipulate themselves in such a fashion with the mental gymnastics as to how this is actually a good thing for LeBron James. Again, tonight, decent game, 24 points, but only 8 of 18 shooting. He had more turnovers than assists, 4 turnovers, 3 assists. And again, a game worst, -17. Well, I can't even say that, actually. It is a team worst, a Lakers worst, -17. Cason Wallace with a mind-scratching -24. That is actually the worst plus-minus of the game. But LeBron, worst on the team, second worst in the game, behind only Cason Wallace. Gary mentioned JJ, who, look, he had the troops ready. I got to give it to him. JJ coached actually a pretty good series this series. However, he did have a puzzling moment down. Look, with the Lakers down 3 and the ball with about 10 seconds left, and they took a timeout to advance and draw up the play and so forth. And they came back in without Rui Hachimura on the floor, and they instead had Maxi Kleber on the floor. And I don't understand that move because Kleber had not, look, he played 1 minute or whatever, 10 seconds. Like, he shows up in the box score, but he doesn't even have a minute there because it was like under 10. It was like 6 seconds. That was it. Why are you bringing that guy in completely cold to be on the floor for that last play? Rui Hachimura was on fire tonight. He, like, in the third quarter, the Oklahoma City Thunder came out and were working the Lakers like they typically have all series long. In fact, the Thunder were down, I think they were down 5 end of the first. So the Lakers were up 5 end of the first. OKC opened the second quarter on a 17-0 run. The Lakers didn't score a basket or they didn't make their first field goal in the second quarter till there were 5 minutes left in the quarter. It's like 5.5 minutes. Still, the Lakers were only down 4 at halftime, but the Thunder blitzed them in the third quarter. It was 12. It looked like it was just going to explode like the other 3 games, but Rui Hachimura kept them in the game. He had 25 points tonight, 9 of 15 shooting, 4 of 8 from the 3-point line. Like, why was that cat not on the floor when JJ came out of the timeout? So as good of a series as JJ had, and as good as, look, he had them ready to play tonight, etc. They're significantly outgunned in this series. But just a gaffe by JJ on that last play. And like, it likely wouldn't have mattered anyway, because the minutes these guys all had played at that point, LeBron played 40, Rui had played 43, Austin Reeves had played 43, Marcus Smart at 36. If they would have made a 3 there in that situation to send it into overtime, that the Lakers were going to be completely and thoroughly gassed. Like Isaiah Hartenstein, 28 minutes, Chet 35, Lou Dort 31, AJ Mitchell 33, Caruso only 22, Cason Wallace 19, like Jared McCain, who again was big. Jared McCain, 16 minutes for Jared McCain, plus 27. In his 16 minutes on the floor tonight, the Thunder outscored the Lakers by 27 points. He had 13 points, 5 of 10 from the field. Again, I say this again. Philadelphia terrorists, like the front office of the Philadelphia 76ers, terrorists for sending Jared McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Do they need any more? Do they need any more advantages? Like, they were already the best team in the NBA last year. AJ Mitchell comes out of nowhere. He looks like he's not only an all-star, he looks like he might be all NBA caliber, and he's making $2 million this year, $2 million next year, and $2 million the following year. Like, and as if they needed anything else. The 76ers send Jared McCain, who looks like just an elite addition and piece now for them. He was magnificent for them tonight. He made several huge threes in the fourth quarter, actually, to stem the tide. It looked like the Lakers were actually going to get this one over the finish line, and McCain made a number of huge shots in the fourth quarter. So again, as I said, the old adage, the rich just keep on getting richer, and the Oklahoma City Thunder move on. And now the Lakers, of course, are moving on to Cancun, and LeBron is moving on to, well, who the hell knows? Maybe you guys might want to talk about where exactly Braun might be heading next year. Maybe it's the Lakers. I would have suggested, like, halfway through this season, that it was a 0% chance that LeBron James would be back in a Lakers jersey next year. 0%. Well, I guess I never say never. So like 0.1%. I would have suggested the Cavs were maybe the leader in the clubhouse, like 50% odds. Now at this point, I think the Lakers have risen all the way to the level of 50-50 betting favorites to retain LeBron. Actually, I think Las Vegas has him even higher than 50%. I think it's like 70% Lakers. I would say it's more like 50-50, and then the field would be the underdog at this point. The one thing I am certain, maybe you guys can help me. Maybe you guys can keep an eye on this for me, because since I'm on with you, I won't have an opportunity to listen live to the LeBron James post-game presser. So if LeBron does anything crazy, like announce his retirement in the post-game press conference, please make sure that you let me and Gary know in this live chat. I doubt that's going to happen. Le Narcissist just has too big of an ego, I think, to go out like that. I think that he wants his flowers and he wants to go on his season-long retirement tour. And I don't know exactly where that's going to happen from. I would have suggested that it was probably going to be Cleveland midway through the year. Now I'm thinking I was wrong, and it's going to be Los Angeles again, because they're actually going to think they had a chance to compete in this postseason if they had Luka healthy. And of course, this last game and any of the first halves that they were remotely competitive in with the Oklahoma City Thunder, just fool's gold. The Thunder allowed teams to hang around. They played down to their opponents. Really, the Thunder, it doesn't really matter. the Thunder only play themselves. Like if they are focused and dialed in, pretty much there's no team that can beat them except maybe now the San Antonio Spurs. I don't know if they're ready this year, are the Spurs, but they will be ready sometime very soon, maybe as soon as next season, in my estimation. So, this is going to be a very intriguing offseason now for several teams, really. We've got the Giannis watch now. There's a story across ESPN.com today that broke that they are taking the Milwaukee Bucks are taking offers at this time for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The owner, Haslam, previously, the majority owner, Haslam, previously stated he wants to have Giannis Antetokounmpo's future sorted out by the actual NBA draft, which is, about 5 weeks away now. So we're right now we are officially on Giannis watch. I think we are on Denver Nugget watch too, because look, Nikola Jokic is still either the best player in the NBA or certainly one of the top 2 or 3 best players in the NBA. And he is in his waning prime now. He's 31 years old right now. He'll be 32 in February. So we're on Nuggets watch to see how they can upgrade that festering turd heap of a lineup that surrounds him. I think there could be significant and impactful changes coming down the pike in Denver. And then, of course, thirdly, LeBron watch. Where will LeBron go? What will he do? What is next for Le King moving forward into what would be his year 24 season next year? So again, all things we can talk about. Gary, I think it's probably best. We are at about the half an hour mark right now of the show. It is 2:04 a.m. Where I live. Like I said, I'm certain that I've got a plethora of West Coast people in the US of A here, and people from all over the world right now. 1,250 people to be precise in the Skap Live After Dark area right now. The waters are warm, guys, and Gary and I are very accommodating and welcoming to you here. Very happy to have you. Therefore, Gary, why don't we start getting into some comments from the people here and see in which direction they want to take it. Let's begin first with Samson the Current, who is Samson the Regular, or a regular, I should say. Welcome into you, Samson, firing the first blow tonight from the comment section. Gary, go ahead. What does Samson have for us tonight?
Part 1 done. Part 2, Cavs beat OKC to get ring without LeBron.
Well, that would be something, wouldn't it? I don't think I see that in my crystal ball. I did pick the Cavaliers in this series against the Detroit Pistons. That is a pick that I stood by barely after the first 2 games. And now I still am feeling pretty confident, even though you got to favor Detroit with 2 of the 3 games coming in their building, and the fact that Cleveland hasn't won a single road game yet this postseason. But I still think the Cavs can eke out this series. The Knicks are on one right now. We talked about them last night. They've played 10 games in this postseason now. They've outscored their opponents in those 10 games by 194 points. That is an all-time NBA playoff record for any 10-game span in any postseason ever. So the Knicks are absolutely on a roll right now. I don't think any team is going to be able to beat them coming out of that other series. The Knicks might even give whoever comes out of the West a viable run in that NBA Finals. But, we'll see. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Anything, weird things can happen. Injuries can happen. OG Anunoby is not obviously cleared as of yet. He's got a hamstring strain. Those things can linger and be kind of weird in terms of the timetable and getting back from those. OG Anunoby is leading the NBA playoffs in true shooting percentage, 77%, scoring 21 points per game, playing elite defense. So if he's not going to be available moving forward, or he's going to be hampered or hindered in some way, that obviously impacts their chances. But if something happens, the Cavs do somehow get through not only this series but the next, I don't love their chances against anything that comes out of the Western Conference. Okay, next we've got George Costanza in, aka the Human Fund CEO. Welcome into you, George. Thanks for being here. Obviously, I'm a big fan of yours. Thank you for supporting me. Gary, what's the question or comment from Costanza?
Talk GOAT now, LaFlop. Justify this now, LaFlop fans.
Yeah, they will. Don't worry. Like I said, the LeBron stands and fans, the jock sniffers and bootlickers of the world will be out there oiling themselves up, twerking all over the internet for the next 48 hours in defense of their king. So I don't exactly know which, because look, when LeBron played a pretty good first game in this series, he's under 50% for the series. But he played a good game in the first. I think he had like 27 points on 13 of 17 shooting or something like that in the first game. People were oiled up. They were high-fiving each other all over the internet, talking about if LeBron wins one game in this series, he's the GOAT. It ends the GOAT debate if he wins one game. Well, now, of course, he won 0 games. It is the 4th time in his NBA career he's won 0 games. And like I said off the top, the 8th time he has gone out of the playoffs in 5 games or less. A fact that I will be, again, releasing a very special video in about 6 hours of time right now. So, guys, please do me a favor and make sure you get on and watch that video as soon as I drop it, because I want it to go big. It is a little homage to one of my favorite videos and favorite series of videos that I did back in 2023 when I first started this channel, the last series. If any of you OGs to the Skap Attack channel here might remember my last choke video after the Denver Nuggets swept the Lakers in the 2023 Western Conference Finals. Yes, this will be a continuation of that series, my first entrant into that series since 2023. So you do not want to miss this video, I'm telling you. Okay, we've got Steven Seagal in next. Big fan of yours too, Steven. We go from George Costanza to Steven Seagal. Love your films in the 80s, obviously. Probably still some good ones. I think there were still some good ones in the 90s for sure. Was Under Siege I think it was a 90s film. Anyway, Gary, go ahead with this question or comment from Steven Seagal.
Who should the Lakers try to get this offseason?
Well, let's go to the old contract, shall we? Because they honestly do not have a lot on the books. They can have a very clean slate right now. Look, some teams right now out there, like the Denver Nuggets, have like $240 million or something like that on their pay cap already for next year. The Lakers have only 105 committed. So that a lot of people are off the books. LeBron's off the books. Rui Hachimura is off the books. Austin Reeves will not pick up that player option. He'll be off the books, which means that number 105 million is going to go down even more. That's going to be 90 million once Austin Reeves declines that player option. You probably Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton also decline their player options for a total of 14 million. So that we're talking 75 mil the Lakers are going to be committed to. That's it. And a couple of team options too. Dalton Connect's one that they might decline that. So we could get even into the 60 million range. So this is just a total clean slate. Now, what the Lakers do not have is very many of their assets. They don't have much to trade really at all, really, in terms of draft collateral. And they obviously don't have much on the books either to trade. So anything they do get is going to have to come via free agency. Obviously, I was pretty certain that Austin Reeves would be taking up 50 mil annually from that available cap space. I'm not so sure right now. He had a nice finish tonight other than the 8 turnovers, but he had a really good game tonight. He had one other good game this series. Other than that, he did not look good this postseason. I don't know what his health viably was after that grade 2 oblique strain that he sustained on April 2nd in that blowout loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. But he did himself no favors by coming back and playing through it if he was injured, because he did not look good. He may very well have lost himself some money. Maybe the Lakers decide they want to go in a completely different direction. And they want to keep LeBron maybe at a discount. Maybe LeBron, I almost said haircut. That would be ironic with LeBron since we know he doesn't get any of those. But maybe they want to get LeBron at like 30 mil, just let Reeves go and then just go out on the market. There's not breathtaking things, though, on the free agent market. To answer your question, Steven Seagal, a name that I'm hearing a lot of, which I hate, is Peyton Watson, the breakout stud for the Denver Nuggets. Probably they're like realistically third or fourth best player on that team. When healthy, you would probably say it's, of course, Jokic and then Murray and Gordon. Then Peyton Watson is probably their best player otherwise. And he may well be better than Jamal Murray or Aaron Gordon. Peyton Watson was the player of the week one week when Nikola Jokic was out. He was averaging like 25 points per game on 70% shooting for like an 8 or 9 game stretch when Nikola Jokic was out this season. He, of course, just another guy that couldn't stay healthy down the stretch, though, did not play a single game in the postseason this year. But he is a restricted free agent. So I'm hearing that the Lakers are just going to throw like a 30, 35 mil per year salary his way. So unfortunately, probably the Nuggets are going to lose him. Denver does possess his bird rights, which means they can break the cap as much as they want to retain him and match whatever the offer is. But the Lakers are probably going to offer a huge contract to Peyton Watson. And if I know the Nuggets, which I do, they're cheap as hell. So they're either going to get rid of Cam Johnson more than likely, because nobody will be stupid enough to take Christian Brown. So they'll have to trade Cam Johnson to keep Peyton Watson, or they'll just let Peyton Watson walk to presumably the Lakers. Other than that, look, I'm keeping Rui Hachimura. I really like him. He was great tonight. He's a big body. He's a good shooter. He plays defense. I think he really fits what the Lakers want to do around Luka Doncic. So, quite frankly, I would be looking to start with giving Rui whatever he's going to get. I would guess probably about 20 mil a year for him, 23 million a year for him, 30 mil for Peyton Watson, and then make the decision on Austin Reeves. If you want to, it's going to be 45 to 50 mil for him annually. So that'll start filling out the remainder of that salary there. And then just go look for 3-and-D lengthy defenders to strap around Luka that can just slash and catch lobs from him. Basically, a similar construct to what the Denver Nuggets should have been building around Nikola Jokic is kind of what the Dallas Mavericks were trying to build around Luka Doncic before they traded him. That's what the Los Angeles Lakers should be trying to do now around Luka. We've got Bands Nabs 55-23 in. I always mess this up. Did I say it right this time? Bands Nabs? I did, I think. Welcome into you, a regular that I typically regularly screw up the pronunciation of that. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Gary, what is the question or comment from Bands tonight?
If LeBron retires this summer, and will you make a career retrospective video, high school to now, season by season, for Bronny?
For Bronny, I will make one for LeBron for sure. I made a video. It's one of my longer videos. It is called The LeBron Rules, and I believe it's a longer name. It's like steroid allegations, super team building, and the competitive balance destroying, something along those lines. But the crux of it is the LeBron Rules. Of course, it's a play from the Jordan Rules book, which was written about him in the 90s. And essentially the rules that it was one writer. I'm drawing a blank on the guy that wrote the book, but he wrote a book about Michael Jordan called the Jordan Rules, which is what that video tongue in cheek referred to. But I will be definitely updating that video if he does retire. I would be shocked. Guys, let me know if there's any cryptic things that go on in that post-game press conference. If you catch it, of course, make sure you stay tuned to Skap Live After Dark as well. But if any,
Sam Smith is
thank you, Gary. Thank you. Sam Smith, the author of that book. He was a beat writer for the NBA, covered Jordan for a number of years. But yes, I'm sure LeBron will say some cryptic things in the post-game presser tonight. I'm sure he's going to try to deflect from the loss and try to make it all about himself and his future. But I do not think he's going to be making any declarative announcements tonight. He's going to want to get some separation from this season, think things over. But again, I would be absolutely stunned if he decides to retire. I was really thinking he was going to go elsewhere mid-season. But with the way this season ended, they had one loss in March. They looked really good. LeBron was playing as the third option. Luka and AR were rolling. The defense was clicking. And then Reeves and Luka both got hurt in that April 2nd game I mentioned a minute ago against Oklahoma City, and things just kind of unraveled from there. So I think maybe the Lakers might be wanting to run it back with this core back. So they'll extend AR with some massive contract and then see what kind of again, haircut. I keep saying haircut. I know LeBron doesn't really take haircuts, but maybe he'll give one to the Lakers and they'll see how much less he'll take because he made $53 million this year. So obviously you'd love to get that number as low as possible to go out and fill the lineup in around these guys and maybe add a couple more things to make it a little more. Maybe like if they bring basically everybody back, including Smart, which I don't know why Marcus Smart opts in for $5 million. He was amazing in the postseason. He could obviously get more money either from the Lakers or somebody else. So, but if everybody opts back in, and they get a little trim from LeBron, they could then go out and take Peyton Watson off the Nuggets, like I said. And then if you add Peyton Watson to this whole mix of everything they had going this year, maybe they think their chances increase of being able to compete with the Spurs and the Thunder moving forward. I don't think that those chances increase, but they might think that. Next in is Jolly Joshams. Oh, boy. Maybe I'll read this one, Gary, since it's kind of to you. Jolly Joshams wants to know, how will Legary ever recover from this? Go ahead, Legary. What say you?
It's going to be tough. It's definitely going to take me definitely the entire off season to recover. But I have faith in my king. He's definitely going to come back with a vengeance next year. And I see the Lakers three-peating in 27, 28, and 29 based off of LeBron's greatness. And Skap, will you then concede that LeBron is the GOAT after he three-peats 27 through 29? Will you then concede he's the GOAT?
Well, LeBron would have to three-peat as the main option, though. So if he can three-peat as the number one option at 43 through 45, yeah, I'll concede that he is the GOAT. If he can do that, yes, you got me on record.
Well, he's gonna be on the Lakers. He's not gonna be the top guy though. He's gonna be the second guy because it's gonna be Bronny leading them to the championship.
Was Mike ever the second guy?
Bronny's gonna be the top guy. Bron's gonna be the second guy.
Was Mike ever the second guy? Actually, I do have some breaking news tonight, some exciting news, if I can make it happen. I don't know. This is real news. I got the email earlier tonight from House of Highlights and Clash for another collaboration. I did the one Kobe fan versus 10 Kobe haters. With Clash and House of Highlights about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe. You should go check that video. It's got about 370,000 views on it right now. They flew me to New York. It was a terrific experience. And I was hopeful to do it again. They said they wanted to have me back, and I got an email tonight, and it will be a quick turnaround if I can make it happen. It's going to be later this month. And I can say that there would be, I can't give away the details, guys, other than just teasing that there will be a LeBron flavor to this one. So stay tuned for more details to follow on that one.
They contacted me as well. I'm planning to go on their next month for I'm going against 10 Bronny haters, and I'm going to destroy everyone.
Gary, maybe you can come on the panel. Maybe you can be the 10 sniffers. You can be one of the 10 sniffers that go against me. Maybe that could be.
Are you arguing against Bronny James?
No. I'm arguing about Pops.
I'm on a separate. I'm on the show for Bronny. So unless you got a problem with Bronny, we can square this up right now. If you're trying to talk trash about Bronny, that's the only reason the Lakers got swept, because Bronny James wasn't playing. JJ Redick doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I see Bronny, DNP tonight. The Lakers did. I scrolled down to the bottom. They did shoot 51% tonight. Again, more OKC playing with their food tonight. Okay, Too Many Clamps 130 is in next. What's up, Too Many Clamps? Welcome to the show. Gary, what's the question or comment from him?
Thunder played like they had a stomach virus until 7 minutes left in the fourth.
Like I said, same old sorry Thunder. Too big to fail, obviously. They can play, take games off, take quarters off, halves off, but their team is absolutely so ridiculously loaded that the margin for error is so preposterously high for them that you just really can't beat this team. I think it's the Spurs are really the only team that stands any remote semblance of an opportunity to stay within the context of a series with them. Maybe the Knicks, though, too. With the way the Knicks are playing, if OG Anunoby comes back without restriction, then I really do believe that the Knicks might be able to at least be competitive with one of these two Western Conference teams. A lot of people think that the Spurs can beat the Thunder this year. I think they can. I just don't think they will. I think they're not. They're too young. They're too inexperienced. But look, the Spurs remind me a lot of the Thunder like 3 years ago, a team that you could tell was stupidly loaded and just has tons of talent. A bunch of elite top 5 picks that are all panning out. And that they all have like 7, 8, 9 years of dynasty runway. Basically, it's like I'm looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder from a few years back now. So they're just younger and they haven't learned the process of winning in the playoffs yet. So I don't think they're ready yet to get over the hump. I say it all the time. You have to learn how to lose before you know how to win in the postseason in the NBA. Young teams typically do not get to the promised land. Look at Oklahoma City. They were the 1 seed tied with Denver 3 years ago. They lose in the second round underwhelmingly to the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic. Then they blitz everybody last year, and now here they are. This was a game they would have lost last year. And now look, they're 8-0 right now. They got taken 7 twice last season, and now they're just whitewashing their first 2 opponents and just running them right out of the buildings. So I do really like their focus and poise that I saw tonight in the fourth, even though they didn't really play hard at all till that point. They're at least showing they do have a different kind of mentality now than they did last year. All right, we've got Zach Hamblin in next. Zach, what's up, bruh? Welcome to the party, my friend. Gary, what is his question or comment?
Love the content, Skap. Hopefully the last game of LeBron in a Lakers jersey, if not any jersey. But we all know the retirement tour is coming, unfortunately.
Guys, look, it's not all going to be bad. I'm hoping, look, the Lakers play on the West Coast primarily. Like, they've got half of their games are on the West, at their home building, I should say, at the Crypt. So that's 1 games. Then of the remaining 41 games, like at least half of those are also West tips generally. So they're like 3/4 of the Laker games are late tips. If LeBron returns home to Cleveland or to the East Coast, then I just want to make an announcement right now. I'll be taking my talents to a live stream after every single LeBron game next year. So it's not all bad, guys. It could be good. It could be fun. We could have a nice, fun year of LeBron on East Coast tips, going live at like 10 p every night, talking LeBron and the Cavs or whoever, whatever team he might be on. So I want to just make that vow to you guys now that if he goes east, that's something that I will do for sure for his retirement tour, of course, because I do think next year will be his final year. But yes, as for the Lake Show, please, LeBron, please, if you're watching, LeBron, or Rich, if you're one of these 1,100 people that's on right now, Rich, Bobby, please, these long-suffering Laker fans in recess, haven't you put them through enough? Haven't they given enough? What more do you need from them? They've given it all. They've suffered through 8 long, hard years. Please let these people free. Free LA fans, for goodness sakes. Take your talents elsewhere. I'm pulling for you, Zach. And I'm pulling for all of you Laker fans out there because I used to be a Laker fan because I love Kobe Bryant. So I used to be a Laker fan. Of course, I wasn't once LeBron went there. So I'm with all of you guys. I think please let this long running national nightmare in Tinseltown finally, mercifully come to an end this season or this summer sometime. Next in, we've got James Cav 81. What's up, James? Welcome in, my friend. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the generous donation for supporting us. Gary, what is the question or comment from James?
Hey, Skap, longtime Fearless and YouTube viewer. I'm a huge Knicks fan. What's your take on Barkley calling Brunson the greatest free agent signing of all time? Who would be yours?
I don't know if he's the greatest free. I didn't hear Barkley say that. That is quite a statement. Wow. That is high praise from Charles Barkley, who is typically hypercritical of these modern era players, as am I for that matter. But I do think very highly of Jalen Brunson, and I got to be honest, he's carving his face into the side of the New York Knicks Mount Rushmore. I mean, think about that. One of the most storied franchises in NBA history. I mean, I'd say it's the Lakers, the Celtics, whichever ordering you want to put those two in, and then probably the Knicks are the other most recognizable franchise. I'm not saying the best franchise. Probably like the Spurs would be the next best franchise after those two teams. And then the Bulls have 6 championships thanks to Michael Jordan. So that's more championships than mostly anybody has other than the Lakers and the Celtics. But the Knicks are one of the more storied teams in NBA history, the most really one of the more well-renowned teams. A team that's synonymous with basketball, Madison Square Garden, the Mecca. I mean, to think about it, that Jalen Brunson, if they win an NBA championship, I'm not willing to say that they're going to be able to do that this year, but if they win a championship, Jalen Brunson might damn well be the best Knick ever. That's how good he is if they win, if they seal this deal. Even if they get to the finals for the first time since 1999, I really do think I can't think, or I struggle to come up with more than 3 other guys that I would put above Brunson. And with that said, I mean, we've seen a lot of great trades and so forth made. I don't know, though. I think I would probably, Gary, can you check something for me? I am pretty sure that Shaquille O'Neal was a free agent when I think his contract came up when he was a young player in Orlando. I do not think that was a trade. It may have been a sign-in trade, though. Can you just check that out real quick? I want to say that was a free agent acquisition, though. And if that was a free agent acquisition, I would probably say that Shaq was, it's hard not to say Shaq because he got 3 NBA championships with the Lakers. They went to 4 finals in 8 years. he had one of the most dominant runs in basketball history in that 3-year span. And that, to me, go ahead, Gary.
It says that, yes, Shaquille O'Neal was a free agent when he signed a 7-year, $121 million contract with the LA Lakers in July of 1996.
I thought he was a free. The only thing I wasn't sure was maybe it was a sign and trade. Like he was gonna leave, but the Lakers helped him out. But I didn't think so. But look, I was very young at that time. Obviously I study the game quite a lot, but I didn't know. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. I was pretty sure it was free agent. And with that said, yeah, it's hard. The fact, again, that the Lakers are one of the most storied franchises, in my estimation, the most storied franchise in NBA history. And that is a major chapter in the history of the LA Lakers. And to me, that Shaq and Kobe team, the 2001 team in particular, to me, I've talked about this in the past in excess on this show, that I think that 2001 Lakers team is the greatest single season team in NBA history, because it had the two best players in the NBA in their primes, with Kobe being the best backcourt player and Shaq being the best frontcourt player on that same team. So it's hard for me to not say Shaq. And it's interesting that Charles Barkley made that comment probably on the studio of Inside the NBA. So I'm curious what Shaq was saying. If Shaq was he not there in studio that night? Or did Shaq have something to push back? Because Shaq typically gets butthurt as hell when anybody compliments any modern era players around him. So the fact that he didn't speak up on his own behalf for that one would be very, very odd to me. So I'll have to find that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'll have to look for the clip of that and see how that went down. We've got JXY. Oh, sorry, Gary. Come on back in.
I just listened to a clip, Barkley on the Dan Patrick Show 3 days ago. He said Jalen Brunson was one of the greatest free agent signings. He did not say the greatest. I'm not sure if he said it somewhere else or if maybe our previous commenter just misremembered. But it didn't sound like he said it the greatest, but one of the greatest, which he obviously would be correct about that.
Thanks for checking that, Gary. Thanks for checking into that. Next, we've got JXYYS. JXYY Savage 8295. I don't know if I did that right, but let's just call him JXY. What's up, brother? Welcome in. Thanks for joining us on the live. Skap Live After Dark again. If you are just joining us, we're about an hour in now, 2:35. On the East Coast of the US of A. And we are going strong right now. We are answering comments. There's a lot of questions and comments percolating around right now, and I will be here all night until I answer them all. And then make sure that I get that video out for all of you, because it is a banger. So guys, please do make sure that you are ready to check that one out in about like 5.5 hours now. Gary, what does JXY have for us right now, though?
LeChoke bringing out his choking ways in the fourth, missing that wide open layup, and throw the ball to nobody. LOL.
I mean, it's, again, I hate to say it, a tale as old as time. I don't know that Beauty and the Beast song, but it's Legag and his choking ways, obviously, because this guy, he is just an utter paradox, an oxymoron, I guess I should say. He's a great all-time player. There's no doubt about it. And he typically does look great from time to time in games. He looked great throughout a lot of this series at 41 years of age without his best player against an elite all-time defense. But there is just something missing about this guy. There's something that he just doesn't have that other guys do have, which separates those other guys from like the upper echelon of the all-time greats. Because, call me old-fashioned, but when we're talking about a sport in the NBA where you're one of 5 guys on the floor, you play both ways. You're on the floor basically like 90, 95, 97% of the time if you have to be in these playoff games. Like, realistically, look, if you have just a complete loser supporting cast around you, just straight dogs and scrubs, like many can argue and maybe make a fair case, a legitimate point about LeBron's first 7 years in Cleveland. Maybe you could say he didn't have the requisite supporting cast to make a viable run to the NBA championship. And I would maybe even grant you that. But basically from the age of 26 till now, where he's 41, he's had a top 2 or 3 roster for the most part every single year. Now, yes, this year he didn't have Luka in the playoffs, but by and large, this guy has been a front runner and had like an elite supporting cast throughout the entirety of his prime, a prime now, which basically is still lasting now, going 24 years now into next season, all to win 4 NBA championships. And I mean, one of those, a highly suspect bubblegum championship after a 5-month hiatus in the Disney bubble, after a, global pandemic shut down the sport for, again, nearly 5 months. And then the other one, the Spurs threw up all over themselves, up 5. We talked about that last night, up 5 with 24 seconds left in a closeout game 6, up 3-2, completely barfed all over themselves. And Ray Allen hit that corner 3. Those are 2 of his rings. And then the other one, they get the suspension by Draymond Green in the 2016 finals, a bunch of injuries. Steph Curry was injured. And all of that with a Kyrie Irving game-winning game-winning series-clinching shot to come back from a 3-1 series deficit. So, think about that. In 3 of the 4 rings he got, they were down 3-2 and 3-1 in 2 of them. So he easily could have lost those 2. Had fantastical things happen to get him back. Then the Disney bubble ring. Those are 3 of his 4 rings in 24 years now. I'm just not impressed ultimately. The stats are great. The ability, the athletic ability, incredible. The longevity, of course. I'm not gonna say this guy's averaging 23, 7, and 6 at 41. Of course that's incredible. But there are levels to this, and you don't get into the upper echelon levels by being a choke artist when it really matters. So just, again, more of the same, JXY. All right, we've got Wolfsbane back in. Go ahead, Gary, with Wolfsbane's question or comment.
LeBron beat Kobe again. Swept 4 times to Kobe's 3.
Yeah, and look, Kobe got swept at least one, maybe twice. Definitely got swept against the Jazz early, very early. He was a teenager early. And then did the Spurs sweep them once before Phil Jackson got there?
I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat. Did who get swept? What'd you ask?
Hang on one second.
I can answer. Did
the Spurs sweep the Lakers once before Phil Jackson got there? I know the Jazz swept them once.
I think they did in '99. I think they did, if I'm not mistaken, and I believe in the last game, Kobe went on a scoring spree, and he hit a few threes in a row and cut it down close. And I started to get nervous, and I was like, damn, this Kobe guy is going to be really good in the future. Next year, they won a championship.
So in 1998 playoffs, the year the Jazz went on to lose to the Bulls 4-2 in the NBA Finals, that was Michael Jordan's last dance year. The Lakers went to the Western Conference Finals, got swept by the Jazz. So that's the year I was thinking of. And then the next year in 1999, the Spurs also did sweep the Lakers. So 4-0 in the semifinals that next year. So I just want to put this in some kind of context and perspective. Kobe Bryant was 20 years old. He was 19 and 20 for 2 of the 3 times he got swept. LeBron is out here getting swept in his absolute peak in the NBA Finals, and now he's still obviously getting swept in his 23rd season. So that let me just put that in perspective. Oh, and by the way, Shaq was involved in those two sweeps for Kobe. Of course, we know Shaq was a loser and a choke artist himself that had to be carried to his 3 rings by Kobe and then carried to his other ring by Dwayne Wade. Of course, the narrative is wrong. You got it all twisted. Shaq wasn't doing the carrying. It was the other way around. Kobe was carrying Shaq. Okay, Praise the Dawn is in next. Go ahead, Gary, and read this question from Praise the Dawn.
LeBron and his fairy fans need to retire.
Yes, of course. Praise the Dawn means his happy-go-lucky fans, of course, is what he means. His happy-go-lucky jock sniffers and bootlickers out there. I'm with you. Praise the Dawn. I've been waiting for this guy to retire for like 10 years. I got so tired of waiting that I decided to start a YouTube channel 3 years ago. So now we can just all celebrate together if and when that day ever actually comes. I think probably it will be after next season. We've got Too Many Clamps 130 back in. I'll read this one real quick. AI Gary got swept this postseason. If you are just joining us tonight on the show and you weren't available last night or you did not join us last night, again, we've got a big turnout, still over 1,000 people on here with us after we're an hour in plus now, over an hour. But last night there was a conspiracy theory swirling around the chat, the live chat, that Gary was in fact not even real, that Gary was an AI bot. So this is just referencing that if you guys are new to the show or joining us after missing last night. I assure you that Gary is real, guys. We've got next in Zach Hamblin is back in. Zach, welcome back in, my friend. Appreciate it. Gary, what's this latest one from him?
Who's the bigger LeBron stan suffering tonight? Shannon Sharp or Nick Wright?
This is a tough one.
I think Nick Wright.
You think, Gary? I would say yes, but I honestly think Nick Wright is primarily tied to the money. I think he just wants the money, like Morgan Freeman in the movie Hard Rain, and like Cuba Gooding Jr., aka Rod Tidwell in Jerry Maguire. He just wants those clutch dollars. Show me the money, is what Nick Wright is saying. He's like you, Gary. He's just running his money machine right now, counting those clutch dollars. Shannon, I think he legitimately, I think he's in love with LeBron. I feel
he's doing it for the money too. Look at the old on that video that I put up when I exposed Clutch. He said best basketball players of all time. Number 1, God. Number 2, Michael Jordan. Number 3, Kobe. This is before he joined Clutch. Yeah, it's an act. And he slipped. I need to put this on a video also. He slipped up. He was on one of his interviews, the Shay Shay interview or whatever. And he was talking. See, this is what I talked about on my video. Your brain works differently at times. So most of the time when Shannon and Nick Wright are talking, they're thinking about how do I put LeBron over? How do I put LeBron over Jordan? Shannon was not on guard, and he let his natural brain flow. And so he was debating something with his guest about someone who was supposed to be the best in their sport. And he automatically, by default, said, oh, so are you saying that they're the Michael Jordan of that sport? He didn't say, so you're saying that they're LeBron. He said, oh, so you're saying they're the Jordan of the sport. I need to make a video on that and expose that.
Well, Gary, you do pose a very interesting argument here. I would say it's basically like a toss-up at this point. If it's me trying to determine who's suffering more, I would say yes, both. So that's kind of where I would fall on that side of the spectrum, Zach, but great question, a very difficult question to answer. We've got Maddie Ye in next. Welcome to the party, Maddie Ye. we're having fun tonight, aren't we? Like, a lot of times, look, I'm not dragging on these ever, don't get me wrong, but some nights I'm like, oh man, 2 hours, 3 hours in now. Oh, I still got to do this video too as well. Oh, my dog's beating me up to take her out in the bathroom. Tonight, God, I just feel so energized, so enthusiastic about everything tonight, guys. It's always a good night. Today was a good day when LeBron is out. Maddie A, welcome to you. Gary, what's the question or comment from Maddie? Or from Matt. I guess I should say Matt. Matt, yeah.
Skap, I came onto the live stream late. Was that Bronny comment before actually serious or a parody? I'm in stitches.
Well, if you're talking about Gary's comment about Bronny, Matt, I wish that it was a parody, obviously, because Gary is jock sniffing all the way to bank with his clutch cash. So while Clutch couldn't infiltrate me, and Skap Attack, they have gotten to my moderator, Gary. So unfortunately, that was not a joke, Matt. But Matt, thank you for joining me. Even though you were late, that's okay. Thank you for getting here and making it happen. And thank you for being with us.
Matt, don't listen to Skap. He is trolling you. He's trolling you. Yes, Matt, it was a joke, obviously. Come on, people. Come on.
And guys, speaking of, look, we do have a lot of comments here, like a lot already. An hour and 10 in, and I got a good jump on these, but there's a lot. You guys are very generous tonight, and you've obviously got a lot to say, a lot to talk about, a lot to ask. So I'm going to get to all these. Please do not leave. If you sent some kind of a super chat or something like that, please stick around. I will get to every single one of them. I appreciate you guys very much. Let's move on to the next one, which is from Arizona Anime Fan, a regular. A lot of you guys, pretty much all regulars at this point. At least many of you guys are regulars. Go ahead. Oh wait, Gary, go ahead.
A shout out to the chat. Quit putting repeat messages and clogging up the whole chat with a bunch of emojis. You're going to get timed out, and if it continues, you're going to get banned. So stop clogging up the chat. Even if you're in agreement, just put the comment one. If you want to repeat it 20, 30 seconds later, that's fine, but do not clog up the chat.
Thank you, Gary. And go ahead with Arizona Anime Fan as well.
LeBron faking the ankle injury was 100% on my bingo card. He hit the trifecta. Refs at fault. Luka hurt. Now I hurt my ankle to go at the hip injury he pretended to have in game 2. Wait, he's not talking about today, is he? Did he fake an ankle injury today?
Yeah. He did some. It looked like I don't know. He jammed his foot or something in some defensive position, and he was hobbling. He immediately went down and was retying his shoe like 6 times, and then he was hobbling around to the sideline afterwards, and then he was grimacing when he came back on the floor after that. So yes, this was Arizona Anime Fan. You called this out before. You asked a few days ago what the likelihood was. Obviously, I agreed with you that the likelihood was very high that would indeed happen. Who knows? I'm sure after the game we will learn that he had some kind of ligament damage in that ankle. He's probably going to have a full hard cast on from his knee down and just rolled out in a wheelchair probably for his post-game press conference tonight. All right, Ruthless Raider 78 is in. And guys, look, we have a little bit bigger of a show tonight. We have a little bit more people tuned in than typically, which, if that is the case, guys, please join us more often. Please click that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and make sure that you become a regular now to the Skap Live After Dark show. But if you are new, though, and if you are just joining us for the first time, Ruthless Raider 78 here drops a lot of comments every night, and he typically, within every comment, finds a way to draw some kind of either a parallel, an analogy, or just try to make an outright, synonym out of LeBron's name with turd or poop or dookie or something. So just get ready for an onslaught of those. I'm sure this is the first of what will likely be more to come. I'll take this first one because I do like to read his stuff because my humor is sophomorish, and I really like to say things like Laturdomites, which is in this one. So praise the most high, Laturdomites been flushed. Yes, Ruthless Raider, mark this day down in history. Technically, it's May 12th. The game tipped on May 11th, but now it is May 12th. But mark this date in history. It is a great day. Praise on high. The great King LeSweep has done it again. He's gone out for the 4th time in 4 games and the 8th time in 5 or less. So gentleman sweep for other times on top of it. Love to see it. Love to see it. Matt is back in. What's up, Matt? Welcome back in. I'm not going to mess up your name this time. Go ahead, Gary, with this one.
Ain't no party like a LeBritty party.
I'm obviously not going to touch what that's a reference to on this channel, but you got that right, Matt. Darth Cairns with that Dylan Brooks aura is in a regular as well. Welcome into you, Darth. Thank you very much, as always, for being here and supporting me. Gary, what's the question or comment from Darth?
Hi, Skap. Would you want Andrew Nembhard and Dylan Brooks to the Nuggets? They are both defensive players.
Yes, and yes, Darth. And you can have anything you want. I'll give you any guy. I'll give you any player for those guys pretty much. Well, I can't give you Jamal because I'm hoping for a little bit bigger of a package for Jamal. But I would give you whatever. Seriously, take anything. You can have anything you want on the Denver Nuggets. Well, you can even get Jokic, basically, but they're not going to do that. So at that point, I want to keep Jokic, Cam Johnson, and Peyton Watson. That's all I want to keep. Realistically, they're going to be forced. Their hand will be forced to keep Christian Brown because he's a scrub and he makes $22 million a year for the next 5 years. So good luck shedding that contract. But other than that, I don't want literally nothing. I want to retain nothing moving forward. So, and I do like both of those players, really like Nembhard and Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks had a great year, I thought, this year. All right, Ruthless Raider 78 is back in. Go ahead, Gary. I'll let you read it. Even though I like to read his, it's specifically addressed to me. So go ahead. I'll turn it over to you.
Will Urinal Cake be a Laker next year?
Yeah, I talked about this off the top. I've made a couple videos this year. I actually made a video about it in the summer that this would be his last year as a Laker. And I've been calling my shot all year long that this would indeed be LeBron's final year in the purple and gold, much to the rejoicing of all of those long suffering and struggling Laker fans in recess out there. But look, everybody can be wrong sometimes, even someone who's as right as me most of the time. And I think if I were a betting man, I would probably bet on the Lakers to retain LeBron's services moving forward into next season. But it's really going to depend on the Lakers. LeBron wants to stay. Look, it's going to be interesting. LeBron wants to stay. The Lakers say they want him back. They don't. But if the discount is enough, will they keep him just to let him save face, or will they force him into a very untenable situation where he doesn't want to leave? I don't think he wants to go anywhere else. I don't think he wants to move his family again or whatever. He lives in LA. He loves it there. All of his businesses are there. It will be a tough situation. Like if the Lakers just flat out say, look, bro, no thanks. Like, oh, you'll come play for like 10 million still. Yeah, pass. Like, will he then retire because he has to? I think he obviously wants to play next year. And he obviously wants to play in LA. So the question is, if playing in LA isn't on the table, then what will the answer be? Play somewhere else or not play at all? That it will be an interesting summer, to say the least. So I think if I were a betting man, which I am, Ruthless Raider, I would say yes, LeBron will be a Laker next year. We've got Spartan 4196 in next. What's up, Spartan? Welcome to you. Gary, what's the question or comment from Spartan?
So who's getting first overall next year when AD gets inevitably traded?
Yeah, it's a weird kind of thing that has been linked to AD, remember. The Lakers traded for AD, and on his way out from New Orleans, the Pelicans got the number 1 overall pick, which became Zion Williamson. Then they traded for then the Lakers traded AD to Dallas, and so the Mavericks traded for AD. They get the number 1 overall pick, which of course became Cooper Flagg. And then they traded AD to the Wiz. So the Washington Wizards traded for AD, and now they get the number 1 overall pick, which presumptively will become AJ DeBonsa sometime soon, within the next like 5-ish weeks. So yeah, that's a great question. I don't think AD is long for the Wiz. I think he wants a contract probably. I don't really even think look, if the Wizards want to throw like $150 million at him for the next 3 years or whatever, he probably would stay there. I think he just wants, again, do I have to channel Morgan Freeman from Hard Rain again? We just want the money. That's all. AD just wants the cake. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. This is going to be a very fun summer, guys. July is actually one of my most fun and exciting times of the NBA calendar and on my channel. I really enjoy basically the early part of July and then unpacking it and sorting it all out in the back half of July. So there's a lot going on for sure this July. AD just one more element. We've got Darth back in again, channeling Darth Cairns, channeling that Dylan Brooks aura. Gary, go ahead with his latest question.
I'm still surprised Kawhi Leonard got away with that no-showing scandal with Steve Ballmer.
Yeah, I think the NBA was just like, meh, pass. Like, I think they were just like, do we want one of our richest, most affluent owners, who is, by the way, one of the 30 richest people in the entire world, do we really want to drag him down and implicate him anymore in this thing? Yeah, pass. Because they're just completely, obviously burying that story. It is a massive scandal. Massive. Like they flat out cheated. I mean, and a pretty significant and egregious cheat. Like they circumvented the salary cap by paying Kawhi Leonard a significant chunk of money to do absolutely nothing through some fake shell account, which has since gone bankrupt. Aspiron or something was the name of that. And then it really is surreal footage to see. If you guys haven't seen it, I myself don't watch much ESPN at all anymore because that network is pretty much degenerated into a complete and utter joke. But look, it's worth YouTubing it and finding the full interview. Ramona Shelburne and Steve Ballmer, when he went to ESPN for God knows what reason, he accepted that interview. Showed up live in studio to answer questions about the scandal or whatever. And he made it so much worse. Like, it was one of the worst performances I've ever seen in my life. He's talking about, they got over on me. I'm a victim. A guy worth whatever, I don't know, $30 billion or more in excess, who has a literal fleet of lawyers, somehow got had by this Ponzi scheme to the tune of like hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah, I'm not buying that. So that is a massive, massive scandal. And the NBA and Commissioner Adam Silver, who, of course, talks a big talk when he's banning Donald Sterling for life, the previous owner of the Clippers. But he's just running and hiding his head under sand for this new owner of the Clippers in his scandal, Steve Ballmer, because that is a massive scandal, but it's just completely gone away. And Dylan, or Darth, I should say, I am as surprised as you are. We've got BPM 5293 is up next. What's up, BPM? Welcome in. I like the handle, BPM. As everybody knows that knows me in this channel, I talk box plus minus often. I don't know if that is a a reference to box plus minus or not, but nonetheless, I like it. Go ahead, Gary, with the question or comment from BPM.
Do you think the front runner would even try to gravy train the Davis, Young, DeBansta core and complete the full Jordan Smith in DC?
I don't know. Look, I think LeBron, it will just be a bad look if he goes to a bad or a lesser team that has no chance of competing at all and he's just stat padding for an entire year. That would be a bad look, I think, for him, just because he's stat padded for such a large portion of his career already. I think LeBron's directive at this point is stay in LA. That's first and foremost. Stay with the Lakers. If not that, if he wants to keep playing, which I think that he does, but it's going to be a tough call for him, I think. Because he wants to stay with LA. So other than that, where can he get closest to an NBA championship that isn't joining the Spurs or the Thunder? Because that would be looked at as too big of a front running move. So which team? I think Cleveland and New York, honestly, would both, each of them would make a lot of sense. But I think a lot of that will depend on how do those teams do the rest of the way. Like if Cleveland comes back and wins this series against Detroit, and if New York, they're already waiting. So whichever team wins that series, if it's Cleveland and New York, like I feel like he goes to the team that loses. Like I feel like he can't go to a team that goes to the NBA Finals either. Too big of a front running move. So I feel like that would, which in my estimation, look, if Cleveland loses in the second round right now, that would make a lot of sense to me. Okay. What do we got? What do we have next here? 1B Zilla. What's up, Zilla? Welcome to you. Gary, what's the question or comment from 1B Zilla?
I think Chet is ready for the Victor Elbow Yama matchup. He's been decently assertive this OKC LA series.
Yeah, he entered the series averaging, or he entered the night for the series averaging like 20 and 10. And he was averaging like 19 for the postseason coming into tonight's game. So he has been really good. He, of course, finished second to Victor Elbow Yama in Defensive Player of the Year voting this year. A distant second, obviously, because Vic was unanimous. But Chet, Defensive Player of the Year 2 this year, probably going to be defensive, All-NBA defensive first team, and averaged 17 and 9 for the regular season, 20 and 10 in this series coming into tonight. So he's been really good. But Victor Elbow Yama does own him historically throughout the course of their careers, which is a big staple in why the Spurs match so favorably and have played the Thunder so well this season. It's going to be a very compelling series if the Spurs can finish off that series against the Timberwolves, obviously, thanks to that elbow from Elbow Yama. It is only 2-2 now. I think it would have been 3-1 had he not been ejected from that game. So they still have to try to, gut out 2 more wins before we can start talking about that series. All right. Darth Cairns is back in yet again. Thank you, Darth. Gary, go ahead with this one.
Fantasy question. We know Luka Doncic has Serbian in him through his father. If Luka had played with Jokic in the 2024 Olympics, would Serbia had won the Olympics?
I think undoubtedly, yes. Like Serbia, for those of you who don't remember the way that game went, they were up on the U.S. wire to wire. They were up like the whole game. Jokic and a bunch of nobodies. Like there were like 3 other NBA players on that team. And then the other 8 or 9 guys not even in the NBA. It was Jokic. And the next best player, the name is escaping me. The guy that they traded from Atlanta to the Clippers. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but that was their second best player, an NBA bench player that averaged like 9 points per game. And that team around Jokic was leading that U.S. super team for the whole game, and they were still up like 6-ish with 3 minutes to go. But there was a weird play that it's not in the NBA rules, but it's international rules. There was a moving screen while Kevin Durant was shooting a 3. He made the 3. The basket counted. They got a free throw and possession of the ball after that because of the foul on the screen. They made the free throw and then they hit the three. So it was like a 7-point play. So they were up 6 with like 2.5 minutes to go to the US was up 1. And then that was just it. It was just over at that point. So if not for that flukish play, Serbia would have won the gold medal, and they ended up, that was not the gold game, but so Serbia won the bronze the next game after that. And the US went on to win the gold after that game. That was the semifinals. But Serbia would have beaten the US in that game without Luka if it wasn't for that flukish moving screen foul and shot make by KD. So if you throw Luka on that team with Jokic, oh, for sure, Serbia is winning that gold medal 100%. Good question, Darth. Go ahead, Gary.
And Sully said that it's Bogdanovich.
Yes, correct. Yep. Bogdan Bogdanovich, of course, the household name that just escaped me for 1 second there. Oh my goodness, Darth Cairns is all over the comment section here tonight. Thank you very much, Darth. Thank you so much for your continued support here and generosity. I greatly do appreciate you. Gary, go ahead with this latest one from Darth.
Has Skap ever played manager mode on any NBA 2K video game? I would love to see Skap do a series of manager mode to watch his tactics and management.
I truth be told, I'm not much of a video gamer. I played some video just to show my age or to tip my age to some degree. My favorite video games were like Quarterback Club 98, NBA Live 98. I also liked GoldenEye and Mario Kart. Those are Nintendo 64 games, by the way. And I did play some Madden and stuff and some NBA games when I got into college in the early 2000s. But after that, really not much of a gamer. So no, I never really have gotten into it that much, unfortunately. I'm glad I haven't, because it probably would have just become one more thing that I spend too much time on doing that I probably shouldn't devote as much time to as I do. So luckily I have, that is one obsession or something that I've never gotten caught up with. Okay, next in we've got Shiho, I think. Gary, how did I do with that? Shiho.
It's hi-ho.
It's hi-ho. Okay. See, this is why I have AI Legary here. I'm kidding. He's not AI, though I'm not kidding. He is on the Clutch payroll. Anyway, it's hi-ho. Thank you, Gary, for that. And thank you, it's hi-ho. Gary, go ahead with the question or comment from it's hi-ho.
According to Rich Paul, if LeBron had both parents, he would have hit the game-winning shot tonight.
I am not aware of these comments by Rich. I'm going to have to look into those comments before I can comment on them intelligently. I don't want to credit Rich with anything that wasn't his. However, I will say there is a budding feud coming, I think, down the pike between Rich and LeBron. There's definitely seems to be like a divorce. Consider that a divorce coming between Rich and LeBron, and it's going to get ugly. Rich is feeling himself a little too much. Look, as little credit as I give LeBron for practically anything, I will give him total credit for Rich Paul's entire career. So the fact that Rich is feeling himself and snapping back and biting at the hand that's fed him for all of this time. Remember, Rich Paul has like one of the biggest sports agencies in the globe, with the second most NBA players on book of any agency in the world. He did that despite not only not having a law degree, not even having a college diploma. And he met LeBron when he was selling T-shirts out of his trunk at the Akron airport. So that guy wants to talk shit or say negative things about LeBron now. Like, This is going to get ugly. I, for one, am here for it. Get me the popcorn and just let me sit back and enjoy it. And it's, Hayo, I will look into those comments. Maybe if I can find time, I might have to do a video on that too. Okay, we've got chat. Go again.
Rich Paul has absolutely no talent. LeBron is not the GOAT, but he's extremely talented. Wherever you want to rank him, at the very least, he's a top 20 to top 25 player. Most people have him way higher. At least LeBron is talented, even if he is a crybaby. Rich Paul, on the other hand, absolutely zero talent. Is there anything that he does well? Nothing. He doesn't even speak well. You would think someone who's supposed to be a representative of LeBron and that agency would sound very intelligent, would be like an intellectual. He sounds ditzy as he's talking. So he has zero credibility whatsoever.
Agreed. Shatterglass 23 up next for this next comment. Thank you, Shatterglass. Welcome in Skap Live After Dark. Welcome to all of you, or thank you guys, I should say, all of you who are still here. Still 900 people at the hour and 35-minute mark. Could be a long night here. Could be a long night. 3:13 a.m. And I still have some finishing touches to put on that video. So go ahead, Gary, with Shatterglass 23 and this comment for us now.
Yes. My Lakers got swept. No more LeBron. No one's getting him. Poison the NBA and true winning. And he did too much damage in the offseason, which is bad for him. People are coming after him. Trust me.
There has been a little, I would say, a little tarnish to the shine of the king in the last couple years, quite frankly. He's become a caricature of himself at this point. Yes, the numbers still look good, but he has been a net minus most of the year, the last 2 years. And again, in the best game the Lakers played in this series, the most competitive game, the best full four-quarter game that they played against the Oklahoma City Thunder, LeBron James with a team worst -17 tonight. And again, look at these starters. Like, the Lakers starters really played the Thunder even, the Thunder starters. Like, Rui Hachimura was a -2, DeAndre Ayton -2, Marcus Smart +5, and Austin Reeves -6. LeBron James -17, the worst on the entire team, starter or bench. So, I mean, people are I think they're just tired of him. I think he's overstayed his welcome in the NBA in general. I think he's done more harm to his legacy than good in the last 3 to 4 years. I think had he just retired at the end of the bubble championship, I think that would have been a far better look for him if he just went out on top after that. I mean, he was whatever. He was like 37 or however old at that point. Let me see. He was 35. So I guess, look, realistically, he wasn't going to retire there. But maybe, I don't know, maybe after they got swept by the Nuggets in the conference finals, he was 38. He still had a really good run that year. And they went out in the conference finals like that. I mean, what more? Like, I don't know. It's been bad ever since. Like, since that Western Conference Finals run where they got swept by the Nuggets, it went out in the first round, won the first round this year because the Rockets imploded and KD sat out the whole series basically. And then they didn't win a single game in the second round, which I asked this question about Joel Embiid the other night. Look, if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, does it actually make a sound? If you get into the second round of the postseason, but you don't win a single game, did you actually get there in the first place? He's done, like I said, more harm than good, I think, the last couple of years. And now at this point, the longevity becomes an attack on his legacy. Like, the thing that has been one of pretty much the biggest feathers in his cap is now starting to work against him because, look, Michael Jordan, realistically, he played like 11 years, realistically, when you break it down, with the broken foot. He played 15 years, but he broke his foot in 1 year. He retired for the entirety of most of another year, played only 17 games. And then 2 of his last 2 years were on a literal, like it was just a project team. In terms, it was a personal project for Michael because he was an owner of the Wizards and he was just doing it as a publicity stunt. They had absolutely no roster around him, no expectations to compete at all. Like of those 15 years, like really it's 11 years and he won 6 times. And even if you count the 15 years, it's counted for all 15 years. LeBron's been in now. Next year will be 24 years for 4. Like it's starting to work against him. It's starting to be a really bad look. That's what happens when you overstay. Okay, Shattered Glass. Oh, wait, sorry. We just did Shattered Glass. I'm sorry. What did Shattered Glass just send the same?
Yeah, he did. Shattered, send us a second question, not on the super chat, but in the regular chat, and I'll get it to Skap because he accidentally sent the same one twice. Go ahead and let me know another question, and I'll get it to Skap for you, and we'll go ahead and go on to the next one.
All right, next in, we've got John Highfill, I do believe. I'm telling you, these handles all run together with all the lowercase. I'm sorry, John. We'll just get John Highfill, I do believe it is. John, thank you. Welcome in. Gary, go ahead with the question or comment from John.
Will Bronny be out of the league when Dad retires?
I think he might stick around. I feel like, well, first of all, he's under contract with the Lakers still. Now, look, if LeBron goes somewhere else, the Lakers are going to trade him to whatever team that LeBron goes to. Other than that, I feel like, look, if LeBron just retires, Bronny might stay through the end of his contract. I feel like he had some okay moments. When I say okay moments, I mean he didn't look like the worst NBA player in human history for a couple times in the playoffs and a couple times in the regular season this year. But by and large, he's pretty awful. He needs to get much better and much more consistent with his shooting if he's going to be a 3-and-D guy. I mean, because that is essentially what he was billed as, right? Like a 3-and-D guy. So I would think that a 3-and-D guy would be shooting a little bit better than, I mean, look, he did go up. Look, I just pulled it up. 38% this year. That is a lot better. He was 28% in his first year from 3. So a big market jump for him. 2.9 points per game this year. But his defense, not so great either. So, I think maybe Bronny might stick around a little bit beyond LeBron at this point. That's something else I didn't see coming. I didn't see LeBron back to the Lakers this year, and I didn't see Bronny being a pro at all beyond LeBron James's exodus. And I don't know that he'll be long for the NBA, but he likely will be in the NBA beyond LeBron. Okay, we've got James back in. James Cav 81 is back. James, welcome back to you, my friend. Thank you. Gary, go ahead with this latest question or comment.
How long until the Thunder have no choice but to break up the embarrassment of riches on their roster?
It's just so ridiculous. I mean, it really is laughable. I talked about McCain, Jared McCain, and how good he looks. And AJ Mitchell is just preposterous right now. Like, again, another, like on the road in a closeout game, plus 17. By the way, Shea was -7 tonight. 33 minutes for AJ Mitchell, plus 17, 28 points, 12 of 19 shooting, massive shots and plays down the stretch. And he came into this game, did AJ Mitchell, for the postseason this year. He was averaging 17 points per game coming in, but he was averaging 20 points per game in this series. And AJ Mitchell, again, is making $3 million this year, $2.8 million next year, and $2.8 million the year after. It's just ridiculous. And McCain, $4 million this year and $6 million next year. Like, just stop this. Stop this nonsense, OKC. They've got Shea, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren signed through 2031. and they have look, they have the number 12 and number 17 overall picks this season in the NBA draft. So, and like, oh, and did I mention they have the Denver Nuggets picks for like 2 of the next 3 years? The Denver Nuggets number 1, their first round picks. Like, it just never ends. The assets that they have and the raw, like, it's just crazy. The Spurs, goodness, it's like I'm sending a little hologram message out like Princess Leia did to Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope. Help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. It's like I'm making a hologram message as we speak to send it to the San Antonio Spurs. Help me, Victor Wembanyama. You're our only hope of not getting like a quintuple Pete out of this Oklahoma City Thunder team. It really is an embarrassment of riches. All right, we've got Ruthless Raider 78 back in. I don't see any poop references on this one, just from a cursory glance. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Gary, to read this one.
Despite being the only player that's been swept in 3 eras, LeBron will be renewing his wedding vows this offseason. Will you support the bride and broom?
I like that. The bride and the broom. I like that. I didn't hear about this. I did see that Savannah was on hand at the game tonight. She looked very disinterested and unimpressed with what was going on the court, like she often does, quite frankly. She's ready for LeBron to have retired as well. Like the rest of us, she's been waiting for like 8 years for LeBron to retire. So she's just praying to God she doesn't end up back in Cleveland again. But yes, I will be supporting the bride and the broom. Great question, Ruthless Raider, and great title there. If I might have to find some footage of that wedding and do a video about the bride and the broom. I like that title. It's got a good ring to it. Go ahead, Gary.
Hold on. We're going to get to Shattered Glass's second question he gave me in the chat because he accidentally sent the same one twice before. So he asks for you, do you think all the dirt around LeBron will start coming from people now that he won't be protected by the NBA? And I actually, Shattered, I actually made a video about this very topic on my channel. I'll put a link inside the chat after Skap finishes this. If any of you want to check that out, I talk precisely about this. What do you think, Skap?
I think that it's almost definitive that he is on some kind of performance enhancers and has been since he was in Miami. The evidence is so overwhelming. I can't say with 100% certainty that he did. I can't because there is nothing 100% certain. He has not admitted to it, and the NBA has not probed it. The federal government hasn't looked into it, and there's been nothing definitive. So I can't say with 100% certainty that he's been using or has used. But like so many people have said that he was. Like Chael Sonnen said it unequivocally. He said LeBron is on I forget what the exact he was naming the exact drug that he was on. And that he said he knew that who LeBron's drug provider was. Kevin Garnett said that he was using and that everybody knew. And LeBron has never come out in the face of these very public allegations. He has never come out. He has never either demanded a retraction. He has never taken legal action. He has never refuted or rejected those claims ever. He's never said anything about it. So it's very odd. And then there's other things. His personal trainer was his wife's personal trainer and LeBron's personal trainer was implicated in the biogenesis leak. His name was prominently mentioned. He was given various forms of designer performance enhancers. And also, allegedly, there was a receptionist involved in that biogenesis leak, which had David Alexander, who was the trainer, as well as Ernest Mims, one of LeBron James's personal like inner circle guys. For those of you who don't know, Randy Ernest Mims is one of the main like core inner circle mates of LeBron, along with Rich Paul. And he was implicated in the leak as well. And according to this receptionist, LJ was the initials for pickup for when Ernest Mims was going to get something one of the days. So there is a lot of smoke percolating around. And when there's that much smoke, generally, I think there's a blazing fire. But I can't say with certainty. And it's going to take the NBA to want to do it, Shatterglass. And this gets back to your point. Even when LeBron retires, he still is intrinsically connected to the NBA. And I don't think that the NBA wants to sully LeBron's name, even when he's out of the NBA. So I think he will still remain to be protected on high by people that matter in and around the league. So it's going to take other people like when the federal government probed Barry Bonds, like it's going to take a coordinated effort like that. Otherwise, independent people like me or whatever can go and do whatever kind of little armchair journalism things that they want to do and investigative pieces or whatever. But there will never be anything with any 100% certainty that comes out unless either the government or the NBA gets behind it. Okay. Boy, I'm never going to find out where we left off. I believe it was here, actually. The Wemby elbow. Go ahead, Gary. Was this the next one, Spartan? Let me just check. Let me throw Ruthless back up. Yes, we did that one. Okay, yes. This is where we left off. Spartan back in now. Spartan 4196. Gary, go ahead with Spartan's latest question.
The Wemby elbow would have been completely ignored in the Jordan era, especially if it hit Jordan himself. Y'all are crybabies.
I talked about the elbow last night. I did a video on it today, actually, because I felt so strongly about it. I would have liked to see a flagrant one there and not an ejection, just because of the context of the way the series and the games have been going, the fact that Minnesota are always the irritants and the aggressors, the fact that they're holding and fouling all game. And then essentially I called the video, it's the NBA's paradox of physicality, or the NBA's physicality paradox, something like that, because it doesn't make any sense. It's a paradox to me. These teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, it happens with Jokic all the time, and now the Minnesota Timberwolves is happening with Wemby. These teams initiate the physicality, they play dirty, and then when the victims then retaliate in some way and snap and react, they're the ones that get punished and penalized. So I would have liked, yes, he elbowed somebody in the side of the face. Yes, there has to be some penalty. So I think a flagrant one, free throws for the Timberwolves, and they get the ball out, like that's fine. But the ejection, look, it is, I still disagree. I understand it. In a vacuum, it is probably a flagrant too. But this series, that game wasn't being played in a vacuum. It was being played in the Western Conference semis with huge stakes. And Minnesota, they're just a bunch of physical, dirty scumbags half the time. And I like it. I like guys that play physically and even border on dirty sometimes. I like it because of the response that it gets from the other guys. Like, it makes them play harder and more physically. But you have to let them then play with that physicality and answer it. And you can't just throw him out of the game like that. But they did, and whatever. I get it. You throw him out, but there should definitely have been no additional action taken against Wemby. I saw many people, including Stephen A. Smith, saying that he should be suspended for Game 5. I'm at least happy that the league offices have come out and issued their ruling today that there will be no further action taken, and Wembanyama will be available for Game 5 tomorrow. 1B Zilla now is in. Go ahead with this latest LeBroom comment, Gary.
LeBroom and Bronny is the first father-son duo to get swept in a playoff series.
History. This guy keeps making history. LeBron said that the best thing about his career, or the best moment in his career by far, is playing with Bronny. Mazel tov, Braun, because now you get to be swept with Bronny. So you just love to see ongoing history. Oh, look, another thing about some history here by Roland Dorsey. Man, I love that name, Roland. Great name. Go ahead, Gary, with Roland. Welcome in, and kudos on a great name, Gary. What does Roland have for us?
History making. First father-son duo to be swept in a playoff.
Let me just lift my little mug here. Take a little Gary. Gary just did a cheers as well. Shout out to you, James family. LeBron James Sr. and LeBron James Jr. Congratulations to you guys as you ride that broom off into the history books together. Ruthless Raider. Ruthless Raiders in next. I mentioned Zion Williamson earlier, probably about whenever we were talking about the trade, the Anthony Davis trade or whatever. So I think that's probably when Ruthless Raider 78 just cracks me up. Like pretty much everything he sends just makes me chuckle. This one says Zion drinks butter, which I wouldn't put it past him, quite frankly. This guy, he loves to eat. Let's just call an ace, a spade, whatever the saying is. Zion Williamson hasn't met a meal. He's never missed a meal in his life. Let's just say that. I think this guy might have been pushing $4 bills at one point. So if he's drinking butter, that certainly isn't breaking news. We've got Dark Mega Man in next, it looks like, or DRK Mega Man. What's up, Mega Man? Welcome in. Gary, what's the comment from Mega Man?
Mind you, LeBron James got sweet in the 20s, 30s, and now 40s. And now it's a family tradition because his son is walking in his father's footsteps and now has a sweep on his resume as well.
It really is just historic, iconic, legendary stuff that we're seeing right now. I mean, what was that thing? We are witness, that Nike slogan from back in the early 2000s or whatever. And I'll be damned. Here we are, year 23, the Lord's year of 2026, and we are all still witnessing history by LeBron. Incredible.
I feel so bad for Savannah. Just watching her son be abused by her husband, Bronny's father, is just abusive. And hopefully that'll be taken care of.
Next in, Charles H. DE9OP. Charles, what's up, my friend? Welcome into you. Good morning or good evening, wherever you might be coming from. Gary, what does Charles have for us tonight?
Is LeBron the only player to be swept in each round?
Interesting question. I'll have to go. I'll have to check on that. I don't think he's ever been. No, he was not swept in the first round, I don't think.
Yeah, he has been. I'm pretty sure. Didn't he get swept by? When the Nuggets beat him in 5, that was a gentleman's sweep.
And the Timberwolves beat him in 5 the next year. Let's see if I can just do it off the top of my head, Gary, real quick. He got swept in 07 in the NBA Finals by your Spurs. He next got swept, I believe, it was until.
Did the Suns sweep him in 21?
No. I believe it wasn't then next till, I want to say the 2017 or the 2018 NBA Finals. Now I'm got to be missing one. No, that's it. The 2018 right. NBA Finals to the Golden State Warriors, the year they traded Kyrie. And then it was just LeBron and Love in 2018. They got swept there. Then they got swept by the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals by Jokic in 23. And then this sweep this year now in the second round. So that would be 2 final sweeps, a Western Conference Finals sweep. So the third round, and then 2 fourth-round sweeps, a third-round sweep, and now a second-round sweep. He's never been swept officially in 4 games in the first round. But again, I am putting out that the last sweep video, which will be coming out in like 4 hours now. And I will be detailing all 8 of his sweeps or gentleman sweeps, and some of those gentleman sweeps did occur in the first round, you can take a stroll down memory lane of all of LeBroom's antics in all of the rounds of the playoffs in about 4 hours time now. All right, we've got Mixo Myths or Mixo Myths. I'm going to go with Mixo Myths. Welcome in, Mixo. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you very much. Gary, what's the comment from Mixo?
Skap, is LeBron still playing in his 40s if the league still has 80s, 90s rules that favored the defense?
No, of course not. Like none of the guys, like it's not, look, a lot of guys are playing old now. Like Kevin Durant, whatever, he sat out the first round, but he had a great year. He averaged like 26 or 27 points per game. He's like 37 or 38. Steph Curry, like whenever he's on the floor, is still averaging like 25 plus points per game. He's like 37 as well. Like it's not just LeBron. There's a lot of guys who are playing late and elite still into later stages because things are different. The nutrition is different. The game is different. The game style and play is different. Everything is different from when it was back then. Like all of those players were physically beat to shit by the time they were like 31, 32 years old. Like even into the earlier part of the 2000s, like Kobe Bryant was absolutely physically just cooked by the time he was 30. Basically, look, he played till he was 37, but he ruptured his Achilles in his age 34 year. And then he had another season-ending injury the next year, and then another season-ending injury the year after that. And then he limped through 60 injury-riddled games in his final year, age 37. So he was Kobe Bryant, who was as maniacal about his body, his conditioning, and taking care of himself as anybody. He had that famous 666 workout that he did every year. And his body just was like, F you, I'm done at 34. Like Larry Bird was like laying on sidelines with heat packs on his back at like 31. Like it just was different back then. So no, like LeBron certainly isn't playing into his 40s back in the 80s and 90s. 100% not. All right, Giuseppe DeRosa is back in. I think this is Giuseppe's first time in tonight. We are still about an hour behind on the Super Chats, but I think we're making some good headway here. I'm really impressed with the work that we're doing with as many Super Chats as you guys have generously bestowed upon us tonight. We're only 2 hours in, although it is late as hell where I'm at, 3:39 a.m. I might just not go to sleep because I got to finish that video up. I got Jason Whitlock's show Fearless, which I'm almost a lock to appear on probably around 11 a.m. So it's just going to be a long day that will bleed into tomorrow, or it already has, I guess, for that matter. But welcome into Giuseppe DeRosa for the first time, I do believe, for tonight. A definite, just a regular, an OG, a guy that has been with me for a very, very long time and doesn't seem to, thankfully for me, be going anywhere anytime soon. I love you, Giuseppe. Thank you very much. Go ahead with the question or comment from him.
Let that hate flow through you, Lord Skap Attack.
Yes. Good. Good. It does. It feels so good. Like I said, Gary, you don't understand these references at all, guys. Gary has never seen Star Wars, so he will not understand any of this. But if only you knew the power of the dark side of the Force, Gary. If only you knew the power of the hate, which is flowing through the chat right now, still around 900 people on 2 hours in. I'm with you, Giuseppe DeRosa. It is flowing through me, and by God, it does feel good. Gary, I know you stepped away for a second. No worries. Take your time. No worry. Okay. Gary is back. We've got Dave Whipped in next. Welcome in, Dave Whipped. I don't know what you're whipped by or with, but Dave, it's a pleasure to have you here. Gary, go ahead with the comment from Dave.
That sham 2003 case really held Kobe back. He was supposed to be the face of the league. 2003 paused any meaningful trades, MVPs, possible rings.
Yeah, I don't really talk much about the Eagle County, Colorado case against Kobe Bryant. The allegations, which, of course, say what you will about them. Kobe Bryant not only was he never convicted of that, the DA dropped that case. Ultimately, it never even made it to trial, but it did derail a lot. It took a lot from Bryant, of course, and it did. Probably, I don't think totally. It might have cost him one MVP, but I think primarily, honestly, I think the writers hated Kobe more, not for that, but because they thought he was a selfish ball hog, and that forced Phil Jackson and Shaq out of town. And they loved Shaq and always sided with Shaq. So they wanted to make sure that they extracted their pound of flesh and hurt Kobe's legacy as much as they could. And so they did. I'm shocked they even gave him one. But I think history would have looked back really poorly on the writers that were voting, making those decisions, if they didn't get that guy at least one. But he should have had at least 3 or 4, in my estimation, Dave. Okay, Space Mountain, woo, is in next. Probably, I think that's got to be Ric Flair. I can't necessarily make it up, but yes, Gary's giving me the thumbs up. Okay, what does Space Mountain, woo, have for us, Gary?
So who's not coming back to the Lakers next season? Players, coaches, or front office?
I think DeAndre Ayton's out. JJ looked completely disgusted and fed up with him last game. At one point, after DeAndre Ayton gave up like his 10th offensive rebound of the game, JJ Redick, you could see him mouthing the words to his assistant, "I can't play this guy." And he ripped him out immediately after that. I think Ayton is likely gone. I would, unless they want to retain Marcus Smart at more, I think Marcus Smart's going to want more money. So he might be gone. And then I don't know about Austin Reeves and LeBron at this point. Let's look at the rest of the contract. I think Rui Hachimura will be back, I think. They've got Vanderbilt. Luke Kennard, probably gone. Kleber is gone. Jackson Hayes is probably gone. So a lot of guys are gone. I think JJ will be back. I think the front office people will be back. And we'll see about LeBron and Austin Reeves. I can see a world where it's one of the two, but not, or I don't know. I mean, I can see them trying to justify a run it back situation. I think I could see them trying to retain the core of those guys and go out and get one other big guy like Peyton Watson or something like that. The Sandman 366 is in. What's up, Sandman? Welcome in, Gary. What does the Sandman have from a comment standpoint for us?
Since the Lakers winning the ring this year would have counted as 2 more rings for LeBron, his ring and Bronny's per the Bron sex rules, does this sweep now count as 2 more sweeps under LeBron's ledger? I would say Savannah would probably agree to that.
Well, look, Sandman, as we know, great question, Sandman. But look, as we know, the LeBron lickers and sniffers out there, the bootlickers and the jock sniffers, they are very highly hypocritical. They often make no sense. 1 and 1 equals 3. What is one thing is true. The other thing is false. Remember, like LeBron, when he plays great at 41, he's the GOAT because he's playing great at 41. And when he plays lousy at 41, it doesn't matter because Michael Jordan couldn't even play that good at 41. LeBron has probably some of the best help that any all-time great player has had throughout the course of his career. Yet, according to them, he has no help. So, again, things typically, dogs and cats living together, up is down, right is left. It doesn't really make sense. So I think that while you're absolutely spot on that ring, a potential ring, would have counted for 2 for him, I would guess that they're going to claim neither of these sweeps aren't going to count at all to them because he's 41. So that obviously invalidates the sweep from happening since he's 41 years of age. There's something in the fine print by the lickers and the sniffers that you missed on that, I'm sure. Stump 4522, Stump is back in again. Gary, what's the latest comment from Stump?
which team makes the most sense to acquire Giannis this offseason? I see Knicks or Warriors the most realistic, in my opinion.
Unfortunately, like neither of those teams realistically can put together any kind of a package. They just don't have enough. They don't have the requisite assets. Look, the Milwaukee Bucks want either a like elite star like Jaylen Brown or somebody and assets. Like they would want Jaylen Brown and like 4 or 5 first-round picks, or they would want like a cache of young players and draft assets. So like 3 young rising players with like 3 first-round picks. So unfortunately, like the Warriors, the Knicks, the Nuggets, like all these teams I see where people are like fans are trying to make cases for or whatever, like it's just not going to happen. The Heat tried to everything they could to make it happen at the trade deadline. They couldn't put a suitable package together. They're probably out. The Timberwolves tried as well. They were trying to scrap a package together, but at the deadline that didn't happen. So they're probably out. I don't know. Like I think he should stay in the East because I don't want another great team in the West, a great player in the West. Like all of the best players in the West. While the East has some good teams, they don't have any great players really outside like Cade Cunningham is going to be first team All NBA and Brunson's a stud. But like primarily all the best players are in the West. And I don't know. I would prefer, and if I were Giannis, I wouldn't want to go there. I like the Houston doesn't have, I mean, there's just nobody, none of the teams that like could make a run to a championship makes sense. You really want to know, do you really want to know what team makes the most sense? Probably Oklahoma City. Like they can keep pretty much the entirety of their core intact and send, I mean, look at the pieces they could send and not even miss. Like, they have AJ Mitchell on contract for 3 years. Like they could send him out. They could send Jared McCain, like really nice young players. Cason Wallace, maybe. Lou Dort, I don't know. And then like 5 first-round picks. And that they might be passed by the Spurs soon. So like maybe they would, if the Thunder lose, maybe they could consider. Other than that, no way. But I just don't know. I think if I'm looking around the NBA, let me just pull up. So if I'm excluding every Western Conference team, maybe the Magic, maybe the Charlotte Hornets. I'm starting to lean more and more towards the camp that it just makes sense to do a Boston deal. Like send Jaylen Brown and like 4 or 5 first-round picks and pair up Jason Tatum and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Why not? Like the Celtics are a complete underachiever. They should have multiple championships at this point in the Tatum Brown era. They just lost in the first round of the playoffs. Let's just explode that thing and bring in Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think maybe I'm at the camp where I think that one might make the most sense now at this point. We've got Eduardo Flores, X87N. What's up, Eduardo? Welcome into you, my friend. Thank you for being here very much. Gary, what is the question or comment from Eduardo?
LeBron makes history, being first father-son duo to get swept in postseason history.
Again, it is a great day. It is a momentous day, a historic day, a day that will go down in history as the first time a father and son tandem on the same NBA team wearing the same name on their backs. And really, Bronny James is LeBron James Jr., the first time that such a pairing will have been swept in the NBA postseason. So LeBron says that it's his biggest accomplishment that he and Bronny played together, and now they get swept together, baby. You're right, Eduardo. You got to love it. Next, actually, we've got back-to-back from a very good friend to me and to the show. My dear friend, Stefan Piscano of Vacation Wealth Partners fame. Shout out to you and to Vacation Wealth Partners. Thank you, by the way, Stefan, for always being here for me. This guy very busy guy. He's got a lot of stuff going on, and yet he comments on virtually every video. I'll see him drop something for me on there, and then he's always in here on these lives. And he's typically often also giving us very generous donations. So, Stefan, thank you very much. Welcome into you. And Gary, what is the first of 2 back-to-backs that we got from Stefan here?
I am excited, Skap, to be a Lakers fan again after LeSissy gets off my team. Nothing could be more fitting than yet another season-ending sweep and another game-tying missed shot. Great stuff as always.
Thank you, sir. And yes, trust me, I'm with you, and I am with all of Laker Nation out there who just wants their team back. They never realistically wanted this guy in the first place. Any real ones would, in an honest moment, would have you believe that they never wanted LeBron in the first place, and that they think that bubble championship is a complete and utter joke, and they just want their team back. So I'm very hopeful, Stefan, that maybe I thought it was a foregone conclusion midway through the year. I really did. I said it in the summer, actually, in advance of this year even beginning. And then as I saw the way the year was unfolding, I sat back and said, well, of course I was right. Like, LeBron's gone. But now I'm not so sure. Like, I'm petrified that Laker Nation is going to have to suffer through a 9th year of this. And it's unbelievable that LeBron he was in Cleveland over 2 stints, 11 years. Next year will be his 9th in LA. Just get out of Los Angeles already, LeBron. Nobody, and I do mean no real ones, no Laker real ones, want you there. So leave and take Bronny with you. But I'm worried. I'm concerned, Stefan. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm right all along from my prognostication this summer, and then the way I talked in multiple videos during the course of the year that this was it for Bron in Los Angeles. I hope I'm right. I hope that call remains a good call, but I am definitely waffling and doubting that I'm right on that one, because the way this season ended and the way these playoffs went, I'm worried. I'm very worried that the front office and all these players involved are going to be like, hey, yeah, let's run it back. That sounds like a good idea. All right. What is the second comment from Stefan, Gary?
P.S. When are the daily shows coming? The world needs more Skap and more common sense.
I've been talking about doing it for like a full year now. And there's a couple things that I need to do. I need to do some logistical things. I need to upgrade my equipment as well. Need to upgrade the lighting, need to upgrade the mic, the camera. I can do those things. It's just a matter of getting the time and doing the research and getting it. And then I'd like to also upgrade my space a bit. I want to spatially back off my shot. These are all just things to answer the question. And then figure out what time of the day I'm running it, how I'm going to do the production on it. If I need somebody else to come on and help me, probably. So those are things that I need to finalize, but it is something that I really do want to do. I have the resources at this point, and it's coming. It's coming soon, Stefan. Hopefully soon is in by like the end of the playoffs, or maybe before, hopefully. So just stay tuned. I will keep all of you guys updated, obviously, on that. And yeah, hopefully it's coming down the pike sooner rather than later. We've got BPM back in again, BPM 5293. Welcome back into you, BPM. Thank you for multiple comments here for us tonight, Gary. What's this next one from him?
If we get a Spurs-Pistons finals, will you honor the great coach Larry Brown and do a dramatic narration of the Toby in Houston call?
Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. What a comment, BPM. When did BPM sent this at 3:11 a.m. or my time is 3:11 a.m. Hopefully it's now 50 minutes later. I hope BPM is still on to hear me talk about. Gary, you probably have no idea what he's talking about.
He is still on, according to this chat. No, I'm not sure what he's referring to.
So anybody that knows me or knows my whatever, my wife hates when I listen to Jim Rome because I think secretly my wife hates hearing me talk ultimately, and she thinks I sound like Jim Rome, which a lot of people do think that, or people mention that I sound like him or have similar delivery and cadence, and quite frankly, I do. Like the way I say us is actually kind of a derivative from Jim Rome because it is a form of, those of you that know, clones. Rome calls them clones, like diehard fans of Jim Rome. I am a clone through and through. I've been following this guy, listening to him since I was like 6 years old. And there's such a thing called jungle Tourette's, which when you just say things and repeat things that are like famous drops from the jungle over and over again. So anyway, that's just some backstory and me saying I am a clone and I love Jim Rome. And along with Tom Cruise and Kobe Bryant, probably Jim Rome, those three would be like my three like heroes, essentially. Like Jim Rome, Kobe Bryant, and Tom Cruise. So I'm a humongous Jim Rome fan, is the backstory to this BPM comment. Toby in Houston was a famous call from like 25 years ago in the jungle on the Jim Rome show, which is still an iconic call in jungle lore. It was a guy that called up. His name was Toby, calling from Houston. And he told a story about how he was at the gym and he was working out and went into the locker room, and Larry Brown ends up being in the locker room as well. And he looked up and he saw Larry Brown's member, let's just call it, hanging by his face. I believe in the call, Toby calls it his crank, right in my face, man. That was the exact delivery of it. And of course, the call got run immediately in the jungle, but it has remained. It is a famed call that still gets referenced and talked about. Still to this day, there still is Toby in Houston call references. So obviously, I know BPM is a big fan, obviously, like I am, of the Jim Rome show. And maybe I will get the full transcript, Toby. And yes, if it is the Spurs and Pistons, maybe I will do like a dramatic reading of it, although I did just kind of do a little reenactment of it, but maybe I'll get the full transcript of it if I could find it. Dutch Rudder is in next. What's up, Dutch Rudder? Welcome in. Thank you. What is the comment from Dutch, Gary?
The waters are not warm for LeBron. He always runs to the team with the most assets to ruin and acquire who he wants. Rest in peace. Hawks, Mavericks, maybe?
Well, Gary, first of all, I have no problems with saying LeBunghole on this platform.
I just have to make sure YouTube doesn't. I don't know. Sometimes they're all over the place. Yeah.
But yes, Dutch, I'm with you. Honestly, the Mavs would have been interesting if they if they find a way to get AD back. If somehow the Wizards send him back to Dallas and they keep Kyrie, then that would make sense to me. Kyrie, AD, and LeBron running it back together. Two former LeBron teammates, high-end teammates that helped get him championship rings, running it back together with him in Dallas. And he could, mentor Cooper Flagg, the young stud there. So That would make sense to me if Davis wasn't traded, but I don't know that would make Hawks, though. That is a compelling one only because they are an elite up and coming team in the lesser. I won't call them the Eastern Conference anymore, but the lesser of the two conferences. So that is something that would kind of make sense. Other than, I honestly don't think LeBron wants to go to another team, like a team that he hasn't been to already, which would leave the possibilities for him Miami and Cleveland, other than LA. So I think I would obviously significantly lean towards Cleveland at that time. So I don't know, Dutch. I don't see him going. Like, New York would be compelling to me if they say they somehow lose in the East Finals, which I don't see that happening. But if they do, maybe he considers that. But that would be like a fourth team. I don't know if LeBron, he's already thought of as a ring chasing, coward, mercenary team hopper. But at least he gets, like, he went to Cleveland twice though, and Miami, and so he's went to 4 different teams in my opinion, but it's really only 3 franchises, and I think he wants to keep it that way. So we'll see. I think it's really between the Lakers, Cleveland, and retire at this point. All right, Ruthless Raiders back in, Ruthless Raider 78, and I'm going to take this one, Gary, because, well, damn it, I like the looks of this this comment. Will players rejoice when LaFudge Log retires? Man, Ruthless Raider just cracks me up, I'll tell you. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the league, in a way, is kind of sick of LeBron, sure. I think for sure there's some hero worship, not as much as there was with Jordan and Kobe. There was way more hero worship with Kobe and Jordan and the young players that were there for him. Like LeBron, I'd say there's some of that going on, but more so it's primarily people that are sick and tired of him, I think. And really, they just want the league to be able to move on from him, because the league is still to some degree kind of under the thumb of LeBron until he leaves. Like, even if he's 41 years old and the third option on a basketball team. So I think that, yeah, probably the overwhelming sentiment amongst the league and the players within it is, let's get it going, guy. Like, you've had your time. Like, he's going to be 42 years old next year. Like, yeah, I think it's probably the expectation is that it's time for him to just move on with the next phase of his life. As Chuck Noll used to say, the famous head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers during the 1970s, whenever he let a player go or cut a player or trade a player or whatever, it's time to move on with the next phase of your life. That's kind of how I think a lot of people, including probably Savannah, LeBron's wife, are looking at LeBron right now. And then we've got Stephen back in for yet another generous donation. 3 very generous donations tonight. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it, as always, as I will always appreciate you and your support. Gary, what is this question or comment from him?
If LeBron broke the glass ceiling once and for all and joined the WNBA, would that move right there make him the greatest of all time and a champion for women's rights?
Yes, I think so. I think you're right. What if he played till he was 45 years old in the NBA and eclipsed 50,000 career points? Remember, he broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. I believe, off the top of my head, Kareem has 38,387 career points. 38,387, I believe, off the top of my head. Gary, you can fact check that if you'd like for us. So that is the number 2 all-time leading scorer in NBA history. So no other player has 40,000 points even. So what if LeBron played till 45 years of age to get to 50K career points in the NBA? Then at 45, he went on to the WNBA and became the all-time leading scorer in the WNBA and played till he was like 60 there. Like, that would, then maybe I would have to give it up to him then. Gary, go ahead and let the people know that I'm right about that number.
Sorry, I'm still looking it up. Hang on. Yeah.
Gary, just type in a Google search, all-time leading NBA scores. 38,387, right? Am I right? Gary, I think I could check this.
Yeah, I'm one player in NBA history has scored 40,000 or more regular season points, LeBron James.
I got it, Gary.
I was reading the chat when you originally asked me, and I was thrown off because the chat's moving really fast tonight. So it's kind of hard to keep up with everything simultaneously. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Let me confirm, guys, that I am indeed right. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all-time record was 38,387 career points. You know I know my stuff, guys. Come on. But LeBron right now is 43,440, which means, yeah, he need to play at least, maybe he might need to play 4 more years to get to, well, he probably scores around 1,600 points a year at this point with the amount of games he misses. Let's see what his totals were this year. 1256 this year, 1710 last year, 1820 the year before, 1590. So yeah, I mean, we're talking several more years. But look, if he does that, then he takes his talents to the WNBA and becomes the all-time leading scorer in the WNBA and plays so he's in his 60s there, then maybe we could have a conversation about LeGoat being the actual GOAT at that point. All right, we've got the great Bib Bob is in next. Welcome in, Bib Bob. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Gary, what is the question or comment from Bib Bob?
Justin, LBJ and California Wildfires to Denver Nuggets for Peyton Manning, Peyton Watson, and Cam Johnson. Are the Nuggets three-peating?
Look, don't even joke about this, Bib Bob. It was Nick Wright, of all people, one of the preeminent LeBron sniffers out there, that has been talking for a couple of weeks now about how LeBron makes sense in Denver with Jokic. I don't want any part of that. I don't want to entertain that in the least. I don't even want to think about it, consider it. I want none of it. No, thank you. Pass. Next. Because the only thing the Nuggets are doing great, Bib Bob, is if LeBron goes there, is getting swept probably in the first round. So LeBron can go ahead and complete his career sweep slam in every single round of the NBA playoffs. All right, we've got next Spartan 4196 is back in again for, I don't know, like a third or a fourth time. Welcome back in, Spartan. Gary, what's this comment say?
LeBron's career is a case study on the importance of centers in the NBA. I love the modern era returning to center dominance.
I mean, when you look at it, bigs really have controlled mostly every era in NBA history. I mean, George Mikan, the first dynastic caliber player for the Minneapolis Lakers back in the 1950s, he was a center. You then move into the 1960s, of course, that ushered in the era of Bill Russell and the dynastic Boston Celtics, 11 championships for them. In and around that era, though, on the periphery was, of course, Will Chamberlain, a freak mutant who was also a big. You work into the 70s, and it was Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was the best player of that decade, though Dr. J does have something to say about that, but he spent half of his decade in the ABA, while Kareem was winning, I believe 4 of his MVPs came in the 70s. So, and he won 2 championships, one at the front end with Milwaukee, one at the back for LA. And then, of course, into the 80s, okay, maybe not an era dominated by one big or 2 elite bigs, but you had bigs that had their fingerprints all over that era. Of course, Magic and Larry were the 2 preeminent guys, but you had one of the great all-time front lines, if not maybe the best front line, with Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish for that Boston Celtics team, along with Larry Bird. And then I just mentioned his name, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Cap, who was on all of those Laker teams with Magic Johnson. You then segue into the 90s, and really that is the only era. It's crazy because it really might have been the golden era of bigs, when the best era of all for bigs, where you had, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, among many others, Karl Malone, although he was a power forward, not necessarily a center, but still. And in that era of golden big men, the golden era of big man dominance, the 1990s, that was the one era really that was absolutely dominated by a guard the whole time, just Michael Jordan. But again, that's GOAT Mike. So that isn't just a complete and total outlier. And then, of course, you then had Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, but Kobe was the preeminent factor, I think, after Jordan. He was a dynastic guard, like one of the few. Like really, there have been 3 dynastic guards in NBA history: Mike, Kobe, and Steph Curry. Like that's it. Other than that, it's bigs. And I guess you can throw LeBron as like a power forward. Like he's realistically a 3 or a 4, but he plays like a 1. He's like a point forward. But in terms of just guards, LeBron ain't a guard. There's really only been those 3 dynastic guards. Other than that, the history of the NBA has been dominated by bigs, including the last 6 years where Nikola Jokic has been the best player in the league. So it's really has been a rare outlier to see, like when a guard does control action for any length of time. But yeah, great point, Spartan. All right, next up we've got Cloutmaster 3695. What's up, Cloutmaster? Thank you so much for being here this morning with us at this point, because while we've only been on for 2 hours and 35 minutes now, it is 4:13 a.m. where Gary and I are at. Hopefully you guys are in different markets and it's earlier for you. Gary, what does Cloutmaster have for us right now?
I think Kawhi was balling because he knew the scandal would come out and he needed to gain value because the league is going to force him to leave LA.
First of all, Cloutmaster, love the avatar. It's Kobe and Mike at the All-Star game together. If you guys are listening and not watching. Secondly, that's a good theory, quite frankly, because this is Kawhi Leonard played like the most games, like the top 2 most games he's played in the last like 7 or 8 years this year. And he averaged his all-time career high in points per game. And this is like age 35 year. And he set his all-time single season record for player efficiency rating as well at 35, a guy who's been ridiculously injury prone. So that's actually a pretty solid and valid theory, if you ask me. I like where your head's going there, Cloutmaster. Emmanuel is in. Emmanuel is a regular. Thank you, Emmanuel, and welcome to you. We're almost caught up on these things. This was from 3:56 my time. It's 4:14, so I know Emmanuel is still here. Thank you, Emmanuel, for joining us. Gary, what's Emmanuel's comment?
Steph passed Bron, so he's top 5 all-time near Kobe. Dude getting no love is unfair. Donovan Mitchell to the finals, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a case for Steph Curry over LeBron James. 100% you can. They overlapped each other in the same exact era. LeBron's a little bit older. He's 41. Steph's like 37. But they played head-to-head. Let's see. Steph beat him in 2015. LeBron beat Steph in 2016. And then Curry beat him in 17 and 18. So 3-1. Curry, they played 4 times. Curry beat him 3 times out of 4. And Curry has as many rings as LeBron. You can say Curry impacted the game and changed the game more than LeBron. You can certainly say Curry had a positive impact and influence on the game, unlike LeBron. So there certainly are arguments and cases to be made for Steph Curry over LeBron. And Donovan Mitchell was a beast tonight. I talked about it at the very beginning of the show. Really haven't talked about it since. But he tied an all-time NBA record tonight with 39 points in the second half. The tied for the most points in a half in NBA playoff history. Donovan Mitchell, Spider Mitchell, and his Cavaliers storm back in that best of 7. It's now a best of 3 against the Pistons after going down 0-2. So shout out to Donovan Mitchell. He's a great player. I like him a lot. I think I'll never not think about him and the battle that he had with Jamal Murray, and how much I wish that it was Murray that was on the other team and that Mitchell has been on Jokic's team all this time. I think he might have more rings than one if that were the case. Cloutmaster is back in again. Welcome back in for a second time very quickly here, Cloutmaster. Gary, what's this most recent comment?
Do you think the Warriors could have beaten the Wolves in last year's playoffs if they're healthy? Would have been fun to see Steph versus SGA in the Western Conference Finals. And if you remember last year, Steph went down in game 1, I think, with that hamstring.
Yeah, and that's why I really do think that the Warriors would have beaten the Timberwolves in that series, actually, because I'm trying to think if they were the Warrior. What were the Timberwolves last year? They were the 6th seed, which would mean that Golden State though beat the 2 seed. So Golden State was the 7 because Golden State played the Rockets, who were the 2, and beat the Rockets in the first round, which means that Golden State was the 7, and that means that Minnesota had home court advantage because they were the 6 last year. So that means that Golden State beat Minnesota's ass in game 1 by like 15 points when they had Steph Curry like in the game. He got hurt towards the end of that game. So basically, not only did they rip the home court advantage off the Timberwolves, they did it in resounding and emphatic fashion by like 15 points in game 1. But Curry got hurt towards the end and then didn't play another game, and they lost every game after that. So they lost 4-1. I think had Curry not gotten hurt, to Cloutmaster 3695's question, yes, I do think that the Warriors would have won that and would have been in the Western Conference Finals against the Oklahoma City Thunder and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But I think the Thunder would have obviously won that series. Ruthless Raider 78 is back in. Another good comment. Do you want to read this, Gary? Or do you want me to? Me? Does LeBalding's dome look like a Rorschach test? And for those of you who don't know, I have a highbrow, a pretty intellectual crowd here, I'm sure, in here, as I'm sure many of you are that are fans of Skap Attack here. A Rorschach test, though, if you don't know, is one of those ink blot tests that psychiatrists or psychologists or whatever will hold up and ask you what you see. And it's supposed to tell you something about yourself, or something at least that the psychiatrist can interpret. And to me, yes, LeBron's bald spot does. It is kind of like a Rorschach test. To me, what I have always seen when I look at LeBron's bald spot is the crying Jordan meme. So that's, for whatever reason, what I always make out there. But I'm happy for other interpretations, either in the chat or whatever, or Ruthless Raider, let me know what you think. Next in, we've got Mendoza 00721. Welcome into you, Mendoza. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. Gary, what's the question or comment from Mendoza?
Has LeBron's selective accountability and control of his legacy narrative made future generations overrate him without understanding his era, failures, and advantages? Yes, that's precisely why Skap made the channel that he made.
Yes. Look, I mean, there's no doubt in a vacuum, this guy's resume looks top 2, arguably maybe even top 1. If you just look at the fact that he's the all-time leading scorer in NBA history by like 4,000 plus points. It's going to be like 5,000 or 6,000 points up on anybody else, which is like 2 or 3 more years up on whoever else would come around that would get to Kareem. And then he's 3rd in assists, I believe. He's got 4 league MVPs. He's been to 10 finals. He's won 4 of them. The 4 rings, 4 finals MVPs. Yes, in a vacuum, if you just look at resume bullet points, yes. But if you understand the context of how those rings came, like, rings are the differentiator. Like, Karl Malone has a tremendous looking resume. He really does. The guy is the 3rd leading scorer in NBA history. He has better numbers across the board than Tim Duncan, who is routinely bandied about as the, quote, greatest power forward ever. Duncan is in pretty much everybody's top 10. Karl Malone, with all of those points, all of those rebounds, all of those stats, and 2 league MVPs, well, he's typically like outside of everyone's top 15. He quite frankly, I see him out of top 20 lists in some instances. This is a guy who is the third leading scorer in NBA history with like 25 and 11 career averages into his 40s that has 2 league MVPs. But he never got that ring. So like Karl Malone, his resume takes a major hit, as well it should. Like you got to get at least one. But look, the story, the context is the story of it all. And like a player like Hakeem Olajuwon, who has only 2, well, there's context and story to that as well. Like he only has 2, but Otis Thorpe was his best player on one of those 2. He played with one All-Star very early on in his career, and then never again until he was like 30 or 31. So like there are reasons and there are excuses. Like Karl Malone had a lot of good teams. He ran up against the wrong team though in Michael Jordan, but still, you play till you're 40 years old and you can't get one ever. Yeah, like your resume takes a hit. Because rings do define these players to some degree. And it's not fair to some players like Nikola Jokic, who has shit surrounding him for the vast majority of his career. Look at his team. Look at the team he has, and look at the team that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has around him. It ain't fair. But at least Jokic got one. Karl Malone didn't get any. Now, LeBron James knew the deal. He knew that if he had a Karl Malone-like individual run in his career, but had a Karl Malone-like postseason run, he's probably going to be remembered like Karl Malone. And LeBron self-analyzed himself and determined that he was a loser and a failure and a choke artist and that he couldn't succeed the way Nikola Jokic did in Denver, the way Giannis did in Milwaukee, the way Michael Jordan did in Chicago. And he said, I better hightail it out of here and stack up as many super teams as I can and steal as many rings as I can possibly, any cheap garbage rings that nobody will put any context on later. So I could just say I have 4 rings and I can be up in this upper echelon with all these other great players. No. I am the context. You see, that's why, like to Gary's point, why I started my channel. So like, I don't know how big my voice will ever get, but as long as I have a voice, I will be trying to put that context to this fraud's resume because the 4 rings are outrageous to me and totally undeserving. Finally, we've got Cloutmaster back in yet again. Gary, go ahead with this latest one from Cloutmaster.
Do you think the Wizards win a playoff series if MJ isn't hurt in the 01-02 season? He was hooping at 38, 39, and maybe all NBA.
Totally. He was in the MVP conversation at that point. He tore his meniscus. He kept playing, even though he did that. He tore the meniscus. And yes, had Jordan stayed healthy at that stage of that season, I think they win at least a playoff series. Yes. Maybe I'll do a video on that. I don't really have the capacity to do the full-on research of it right now, but I know they were in like the 4-5-ish line maybe when he hurt his knee. And like I said, top 5 in MVP consideration. So maybe I'll add that to my off-season video queue to work on that in the off-season. Guys, that brings us to the end of the comments here. It's unbelievable. We're nearing the 3-hour mark here. It's 4:25 a.m. It's got to be the longest time I've done a live stream here in my local time. I'm in Florida along with moderator Gary, though we are separated by basically the entire state. But we're both here. It's 4:30 in the morning. Really hard to believe that there's still 760 people on here because we've been on here for nearly 3 hours and it is absolutely ridiculously late. I am very touched and humbled by your guys' ongoing support and generosity and just your involvement and activity here. The live chat has been just popping left and right all night long. 759 people, like I said, still, it's just still crazy that all you guys are still on here. I'm going to keep doing this shit. I'm not going to get much sleep tonight, obviously, or tomorrow, but I'll be on again tomorrow night to talk Spurs and Timberwolves when that game ends. And unless something crazy comes up, I'm going to try to make it on more than I won't be. I'll try to get on every day there's a game on through the end of the playoffs. But, we'll see where it takes us. We'll see what my schedule holds for me. I'm going to now go work on this video that I'm very, very excited about wrapping up about LeBron's momentous event of being swept again tonight. That video will be coming out now in 3.5 hours from right now. So I got to really hustle and put that thing together. Please make sure that you guys do watch that. And otherwise, guys, if you are new here, because it is more people than we're used to having at this point, please do make sure that you subscribe to me and turn those notifications on. Also, make sure you check out Gary828. He's the moderator. He is not AI. He's a real person, and he does have a couple YouTube channels, Gary828 and then Gary828 Sports. You want to check out those channels, give him some views, give him some likes, and subscribe to him there as well. And guys, it's been a very, very fun night tonight. I will be unpacking this Laker loss, this LeBron defeat over the next probably 2 days. There will be the one video that I've been working on it, and I'm going to put the finishing touches on it now when I sign off. And then I'll probably do maybe a little LeBron offseason primer that will maybe be the following day. So make sure you keep your eye out for that. And all the things that I put out, guys, I know I don't have to tell you, but thank you guys for being here, for sticking around, and for supporting me, all these years. If you've been with me from the beginning, it's been 3 years now. It's been a fun run for me. While LeBron is done, I will continue, obviously. So I'll be here the rest of the playoffs, and I'm here all year as well, guys. You know that. And I will be looking to put some kind of maybe a daily live show on. So keep your eyes open for that. I'll keep you updated and apprised on anything that changes about my channel. Until then, guys, look, have a great night, a great morning, wherever it is that you might be in this blue and green orb rotating the sun. It's been fun having you here for tonight, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Until then, have a great night or a great day.